get nasty on a Monday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Jamie Rivers traveling today with the Blues. He'll be on with us tomorrow. Let's start off with the Blues. Speaking of which, the Blues find a way to get a point thanks to Jordan Binnington over the weekend. And Jordan Binnington, of course, broke the Blues all-time record for most wins for a goaltender. So congratulations to Jordan Binnington. Well-earned, well-deserved for Binner. And this is somebody that, as we talked about it last week, his story is absolutely phenomenal. It's a story that even though not all of us became professional athletes, say for Carey, at least in the room, it is a story that it's easy to embrace, somebody that had to work through adversity to get what he wanted. Teams didn't want him. The Blues rented him out to the Bruins, loaned him out to the Bruins at one point. And then he went to Stanley Cup, and now he's the all-time winner for goaltenders for the Blues in Blues franchise history. So congratulations to him. But he has been the one consistent, even though the Blues have not made the playoffs, he has been the one consistent, for me at least, that I haven't had to worry about it. You know, I've worried about the power play. Mm-hmm. I've worried about special teams. I've worried about scoring. I've worried about defense. Jordan Binnington, though, has been the one constant in the Blues non-playoff years where I've at least felt, okay, you got a shot in every game because of Jordan Binnington.
When you have as much shuffling as they've had, you had the trade deadline where you traded about a bunch of different people that were contracts were expiring. And you said you've missed the playoffs the last few years, and now you bring in a whole new group of guys. The team has dramatically shifted over the last few years, but the one consistent, it has been Jordan Binnington. He's been the one guy that you can rely on night in and night out. I know a few years ago people were like, they didn't like his demeanor or his mentality, and I loved it because he's kind of a serial killer, and that's what you need to be in that position.
He's a psychopath.
Not have, any doubt, any worry, any concern, and you just play the game the right way the entire time. And he has done a fantastic job. Marshy was texting us over the weekend talking about, because you were at the game.
I was at the game, yeah.
Talking about how wonderful he played. Was it Saturday?
Saturday night,
Just talking about how well he played. I mean, it's when you have one person that and a position that is that important. Like, that's like, I don't know what like a quarterback. Right, that's the one guy that's going to pretty much touch the puck at some point throughout the entire game. Like, he's there to be the one thing that you can lean on, and he's done a great job.
He can make or break you.
Correct.
Like, if you could play poorly as a team, not throughout the course of a season, but in a game. You play poorly as a team,
and plays
your quarterback can bail you out.
There you go.
Or throw 4 picks and lose a game in which the other team did not score an offensive touchdown.
Well, who did that?
Yeah, we'll get to it later.
He looked bad. He's terrible.
He looks old, but he does. He's done.
He threw one to the flat, that pick six, and I was like, oh.
Did you see the cornerback on that? The corner had to wait.
Yeah, he had to wait on it. He's like, is it going to get here? Okay, here it is.
You mean that paper plane that he threw?
He's done. He's absolutely done. Let's stick with the Blues.
Sorry.
That's all right. I brought it up. You don't have to apologize to me. I brought him up. I threw the shot. Yep.
Jordan Binnington was awesome on Saturday. Like, he made some 10-bell saves that if he doesn't make, I don't know if the Blues even come close to getting a point on Saturday. Like, the turnovers were there, the shots weren't there. And give credit to Philly. We saw this in the first go-around when they played the Flyers, blocking shots.
Phillies got a sneaky good team.
Yeah, the
Phillies.
Flyers
got a sneaky good team.
They have a good team,
Phillies got a good team,
Phillies don't. They're not sneaky at all.
No,
the Flyers have a sneaky
right in your
good
face.
team.
Torts, that's just the way that, he's going to get his team prepared. They're going to play that type of game. And, give credit to the Blues. Even though I did not think they had a relatively great game, they still found a way to get a point out of that.
Yeah.
And you could have had 2. You could have had 2. Now that overtime, that was quick. That was Oh wait. Much like the first goal. Yeah, the towel man didn't even throw his towel yet before it was 2-1.
Yeah.
But great job by the Blues to stay with it. And I don't know if they necessarily come out with a point
under the previous regime.
Yes.
Nah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got you, Marshy.
I don't want to say it. You said it for me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But seriously.
Ill of the gone.
Seriously, though, like, I don't know if they come out with a point. I don't think that they have that type of game. Like it did not look good, but Jordan Binnington was unbelievable. He made some great saves, especially the one in the second period where a wide open net.
Yeah.
The guy just throws his glove out, makes the stop. Like, it was awesome. It was a very stressful game, especially when you were there. Very stressful, but hey, this team, it is different. You don't play your best game and you find a way to get a point. I think that does speak volumes about where they're going.
Oh, I do too.
Would you say it's been more consistent, like just overall, or would you feel like Saturday? You feel like Saturday was more of what it was previously?
Yeah.
Like, is the new coach luster kind of wearing off? Did you feel that way?
I mean, at the game I did, spending money to go to the game. You're like, what is this? This looks like the team that I just watched 2 weeks ago. But no, I think it is a little bit different. Pavel Buchnevich wasn't in the lineup, and I think that was a little bit different. Texier playing on the first line. I thought he had a couple good shifts. I didn't think some of your best players played their best game. Mm-hmm. And, it is what it is. I do feel different, though, just because you did end up getting a point, and in those 3 games, you come out with 5 points out of 6. Like, that is big. You could only had 4.
Yeah.
But, they do have things to work on, like turnovers. The turnovers need to, where they're turning the puck over, it needs to stop. Like, right in your own blue line or the other team's blue line, like, you can't be making cross-ice passes at the blue line. Mm-hmm. You learn that from a young age. You just can't do it. Like, make the simple play, get the puck in, and then go to work in the offensive zone.
Yeah, I wonder, too, if Jim Montgomery can really drive that point home better than maybe Bannister. Maybe when Bannister was saying the same thing, but Carey, Marsh, you guys know this. In everyday life, you could hear the same thing from somebody, and it just doesn't resonate. And then somebody else comes along and basically says the same thing, and you're like, that makes a lot of sense.
Like, what did I say differently?
Right, but still.
I find that to me is the hard part to grasp, because we had people on the text line saying that last week. Well, when a new coach comes in, how they say it, it's the same message, but if it takes another person to say what you've been hearing the entire time, it's probably you. Like, I had to learn this lesson. I think I've said this before. In different walks of life, I've had multiple people tell me the same thing about myself. Mm-hmm. And I would get mad. You know what you're talking about. I'm not like that.
None of these people know
None
me.
of these people. What are you talking about? But they're all different phases of my life, and they say the same thing. And at some point, I had to realize, oh, wow. Maybe it is me.
That is me.
I got to be better. That's the Blues. Like, at some point, if the coaches are saying the same thing coming from different places, it's you. Be better. And I'm interested to see how they play tomorrow night. If they have kind of the same energy or lack thereof, then you can start well, it's you. It's not anybody else. So, first 2 games, energy good. Marshy was a little disappointed with the performance in person. Yeah. Other than Jordan Binnington.
It's a little different when you're there in person, right?
Yeah, I don't want to put words in your mouth. But he said he was texting us. You said your girlfriend is a hockey aficionado now.
She is now,
She
yeah.
understands the game. Like, why are they making these passes?
Yeah.
And you're frustrated, and everybody's frustrated. So, hopefully those things get corrected, and, you don't have to take it into overtime. You can win in regulation.
Let's see what the actual quote was. If they couldn't make a first pass, it fast-laned everything up. Jamie talks about the first pass all the time.
Right.
And, the whole time, usually you're sitting there, you're like, shoot, right? This time, I was like, make a pass. Catch a pass. It felt like every pass kept bouncing off their stick. Yeah. But it was a fun night on Saturday. A really cool ceremony for Jordan Binnington because of the accomplishment that he had, breaking the record and whatnot. So that was really cool, and he was on his game too. He was on his game, and we saw on Wednesday something very similar for Markstrom, and then 9 seconds into the game, he gives up a goal, and they end up losing 3-0. The Devils, that is. So Jordan Binnington, fantastic. Kind of put this segment, wrap it up with a nice little bow. Like, he's been the guy.
Yep.
He's been the guy for the Blues, and if they make the playoffs, I think some teams better watch out.
Oh, look at Marsh. She's feeling good on a Monday coming off the Thanksgiving and Minnesota Viking victory.
Oh, man. Talk about a stressful game.
Hey, you won.
Marshy says,
just compile the dubs.
The Blues will win The Stanley Cup.
I never said that.
No, you
but
said
if they
that.
you know what? If they do, though,
Yeah, I heard
if
it
they
too.
do, I absolutely said it at 2:13 on December 2nd of 2024.
Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. The Blues Jets pregame 6 o'clock tomorrow night. We have Broncos and Browns as they wrap up Week 13 in the National Football
How
League.
did that game become a Monday night game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Some schedule maker said, yeah, that one. They had to be picking out of a hat. Like, it must have been a blind reveal. Like,
Yeah. Like sometimes I get it. When, Broncos and Saints in New Orleans,
Yeah.
Sean Payton going back. I get that.
No
you
problem.
can't foresee the injuries, right, to the Saints or whoever throughout the course of the year. But Broncos, Browns, I don't.
Well, actually,
the Browns were
went
a
to the
playoff team last year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Ish.
We get more Jameis Winston in a
There
prime
you go.
time
Sign
game.
me up
So
for more Jameis.
Yeah,
I hope
which
he's
Jameis
mic'd
we
up.
getting tonight? You know,
Eating dubs.
Yeah.
That's the only Jameis I like.
Hey, congratulations to Marshy. We said that he was going to win the month, and he did.
Oh, yes, the Chiefs.
My 5-team parlay. I hit 3 of the 5. The first one lost though, Kansas City.
That means we need new bet the board contestants
For the month of December, that's right.
Yes.
So if you want to be paired up with Marsh, who now has 3 wins this year, correct?
That is correct.
So you have 3, I have 3, Carey 2, Jamie 2. Is that how the math works?
that
3, 6, 8, 10.
Nope. Somebody's got it.
Somebody else has 3, or Marsh
be
and I.
Jamie.
Maybe Marsh or I have 4. No, I think Jamie's got 3. All right, it's Fastlane on 101, which probably means Carey's 2 then.
There you go.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. We will get to some of the game notes from Week 13 in the NFL, including a baffling start to Week 13 on Thursday afternoon in Detroit with the Bears, who have since fired Matt Eberflus. So we'll get into that. But Nolan Arenado maybe caused a stir among Cardinals fans with an Instagram post. We'll tell you which song he chose and why it might be relevant to his future next on 101 ESPN. Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. No Jamie Rivers. Boy, I got the coffee going today, boys. Had the coffee.
You a little wired?
I'm sped up a little bit.
Yeah, I told you.
Fired up.
Fire up chips.
Fire up chips. They covered.
Did they?
Yeah,
Did they win?
They covered. In DeKalb.
With a win.
They covered against
they didn't
Northern
beat NIU.
Illinois.
They didn't beat NIU.
No, they didn't.
Hey, that's a good team. They beat a
Notre Dame.
top 10 team.
They beat the team that's going to probably be number 4 in the college football playoff rankings, huh? After beating Southern Cal.
It's a crazy weekend.
What a wild weekend. I can't wait to dive into it. But Nolan Arenado decided to go on the old Instacart over the weekend. And
shopping for a new team?
Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing. Now, I don't know if he was foreshadowing or he was just maybe sending out some positive vibes, but Marshy, you're a music aficionado. What did Arenado post? What music did he choose for his story on Instagram?
Well, it was actually a post, Anthony. It was a full post,
All right.
and you can put music on stories, but you can also do it now on whatever post you want to make. And he had like a little photo dump, I guess you'd call it. Sure. You know, just various different photos of things that he's been doing in the off season. And the song that he chose was from Kendrick Lamar, and it was called Dodger Blue.
That's a good song. It's a kind of melodic pace. It's a good song. I don't blame him. Hell, I was listening to it all weekend. I mean, Kendrick Lamar dropped an album last week. Dodger Blue.
Oh, no.
It's definitely one of the best songs on there. I texted you all over the weekend as well. I know you all saw Mr. Snell signed. And so it's happening, fellas. Right? It's happening. There are going to be more. It's going to be more blue, more Dodger Blue for the entire country to enjoy. Why wouldn't you enjoy Dodger Blue? Kendrick Lamar talking about it. Nolan Arenado playing it on his Instagram post. I mean, the Dodgers are going to Dodger. Just accept it. Deal with it and move on. Okay? Deal with it and move on. It's happening. You might not like it, but it's happening.
Our guy John from the Snake Pit, he had back-to-back tweets. He corrected me. Well, I said Notre Dame number 4. They can't be any higher than 5 because of the 4 conference. Whatever. But John, I thought, had a great follow-up. He goes, no better way to take down the Dodgers than to trade them Arenado. I think John brings up a really good point.
I was thinking
you sent him that.
I was thinking it.
Little
He
care
said
package.
It.
Huh?
Man, Tommy Edmonds signed a new deal. You got to love it,
From
man.
the inside out,
We're doing it.
Arenado takes down the Dodgers. Right? Not a bad
I don't
idea.
even think he can do that. They got a machine going. They got a machine going.
No, they certainly do.
Juan Soto's next.
All right, so
Carey, though, sometimes when you need to print papers out, it doesn't work because there's a jam. Even some of the finest arts of machinery don't work if there's one thing wrong with it.
It happens. We'll see.
the Dodgers would be a perfect fit for all parties involved.
What do you get back?
Let's think about what everybody wants and what everybody needs. Arenado wants to go to a contender. Arenado needs a bunch of talent around him if he's going to win. I'm not even throwing shots right now. That's just a fact.
Well, they got a bunch.
If Arenado in his prime couldn't do it with more than what the Cardinals have had over the last, and not just the last 2 years, but when he first arrived here, then he's certainly not going to do it by himself or virtually by himself when he's 33, 34. So he needs to be with a team like the Dodgers that are absolutely loaded, and he wants to win. All right. What do the Cardinals need? Actually, I should say, what do the Dodgers need? I don't care. What do the Cardinals need? For me, they need to get this money. I don't even care for myself. I don't care if they get the money off the books. As a fan, I want them to tap into some of that good young talent that the Dodgers offer. Preferably pitching, because to me, you can never have enough good young pitching. Mm-hmm. Some of it breaks down. I mean, the point that you often make, Carey, is about Jack Flaherty and Alex Reyes. Yeah. And you have countered when I have said, if you don't make the Ozuna trade, you have Alcantara and Zach Gallen, right? You have often countered with, well, what if you had a healthy Jack Flaherty and a healthy Alex Reyes? Yeah. So overall, you can never have enough pitching. Some pans out, some doesn't, some breaks down. So I would love to tap into the Dodgers' young pitching.
That's what the Dodgers did this year. I mean, they had pitching breakdown the entire year, and it just seemed like, oh, we got another one. Yep. We got another guy. No, we got another guy for that. And then eventually guys start coming back and getting healthy, and you're like, oh, wow. Like, so it does make sense. If I'm the Cardinals, I do want some of that young pitching. I want to have a surplus of young pitchers to decide from. Throw them all out there and see see what sticks.
Right.
And then when somebody gets hurt, because that's inevitable in sports, somebody's going to get hurt. They're going to have a forearm hurt, an elbow. You're going to get a blister on your finger. Come on down. You're up next. You're the next man up, because we got a bunch of y'all. So it also does another thing in helping open up that position for a younger player to get everyday reps.
Yeah.
If it's Nolan Gorman or if it's whoever it is, I don't care. It gives you an opportunity to play a younger player every single day at third base in that lineup and have an opportunity to get better as you go and to grow as a team. So if he wants to wear Dodger blue, I'll still cheer for him. Because I love the Cardinals, and I love former Cardinals that play for the Dodgers.
Are we looking too into this? Or is this our job?
I mean, probably, but I think the bigger song. He's from the
California.
area. Plus, it just feels like it's a foregone conclusion now that the Cardinals and Arenado are going to part ways this offseason. I know that Katie Wu, when she wrote the article last week for The Athletic talking about the Cardinals and Arenado and what they could get and what kind of the situation is all about right now from a breakdown standpoint, she did note that the Cardinals aren't just going to give them away. They don't need to trade them. Mm-hmm. I think we're past that now. I do. I think the ship has sailed. I think that Arenado is going to be in another uniform next year. And the question just becomes, can the Cardinals get a decent prospect in return because they're willing to take on some of that contract, or is this going to be almost purely a salary dump, and they just get some low prospect, some 19-year-old, low A, and they don't take on any of the deal?
If that's the case, then you're not keeping most of that salary.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you're
it's one of the two.
It's one or the other. Yeah, I agree. Like if you're trading him away and getting him off the books, and they're taking the whole salary, you're not going to get much back. But if you're eating half of the salary, you need something
100%.
Something worth your while in return.
Right. And as a fan, you want them to absorb out of those two choices. It's not our money. Absorb some of the contracts so you can get something back in return.
Question. Yeah.
And that's just almost kind of too smart,
So you don't think the Cardinals are going to do it?
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. We do have a Blues ticket giveaway coming up at some point during the show, so want to make sure that you're locked in here to the Fast Lane with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's get to what's trending before we get into some of the football action from a Wilds weekend in both the NFL and college football. But again, what's trending is next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Over the weekend, the Blues fell to the Philadelphia Flyers by a final score of 3-2. The Blues did pick up a point as that one went to overtime. They look to get back in the win column as they take on the Winnipeg Jets. That game is tomorrow night. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We'll talk with our Blues insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, at 3 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. Also tonight on 101 ESPN, you can listen to Monday Night Football. It's the Broncos and the Browns. Pregame starts at 6:30. Coming up next, we have What's Trending. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Carey, you just mentioned it in our previous segment. We were talking about your Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah. But Tommy Edman has agreed to a 5-year, $74 million contract. Here's a little bit of the details according to Jeff Passan. That deal tears up the final season of a 2-year contract that Edman previously signed. Of course, he was here in St. Louis, and it now replaces it with one that runs from 2025 through 2029. The contract includes a 6th-year club option for $13 million with a $3 million buyout, and will give Tommy Edman a $17 million signing bonus, sources said. Shocker here, about 1/3 of the overall value of the deal is deferred.
I mean, hey, they are deferring a lot of money. They're going to owe a lot of people a lot of money when they're done playing.
Yeah.
Shohei, I know I saw Mookie Betts' money is deferred a large portion, I think $40 or $50 million when he's long retired. Like, if you can do it, why not? Mm-hmm. I don't see a problem with it. More teams should probably do that.
I mean, there's probably somebody very smart within that building that's figuring all this out and how to manage it and how to put it in funds that are going to grow
and allow you to make that money twofold and be able to spend it later on down the road.
Sure.
Listen, they are spending a lot of money. They are finding ways to bring in a lot of different players. I just said they signed Blake Snell as well. Like, they are printing money. Mm-hmm. And they're going to win another championship, and you got to love it. If you don't like it, Anthony, play better.
Okay.
Yeah. All those people complaining.
Do you think the Cardinals valued Tommy Edman that well?
Yeah, I do. I think they valued him. I think they've got, while he was the original version, they also have other Tommy Edman-like players, and I think they had an abundance of Tommy Edman-like players.
What position is he going to play?
He'll play all over.
For them?
For them, he'll probably play all over. The Dodgers value versatility. We've seen it with Max Muncy. We've seen it with Chris Taylor. We've now seen it with Mookie Betts. They value guys that can move around. The Cardinals also value guys that can move around. They just don't have
They're not as
Mookie
good.
Betts, Max Muncy in his prime. Yeah. It's not that different. It's just, the Dodgers have better players.
Guys, Luther Burden is declaring for the NFL draft. He told ESPN, and he will sit out Mizzou's bowl game, which I think is a smart move.
Yeah.
Carey, you have something to say.
I got a point to make.
Okay.
I was waiting for it.
You Mizzou Tiger fans, I do not want to hear one word if you don't win the bowl game about your star player not playing. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Because I explained this to you all very, very well last season about the Ohio State win, and I was called a hater. Hey, they beat Ohio State. Did they? They beat Ohio State light. It wasn't Ohio State.
Still says Ohio State.
It does. Cool.
In the record books, it'll be Ohio State.
I'm sure.
You'll remember it.
Except none of the players had played many games or many snaps.
Yeah, either way.
So, if Mizzou takes an L and some of their players choose not to play in the bowl game, all's fair in love and war.
Sure.
I don't want to hear it. Go
Well,
Tide.
I think much like Ohio State fans in that game, I don't know how much Mizzou fans will care if they wind up losing to whoever.
No, yeah, they will.
You think so?
Have you met these people?
Well, they're very passionate.
Clearly. If that's what you want to call it.
They're very passionate. A huge win over the weekend against Arkansas.
Use a different word. You say passionate.
Come from behind victory.
Problematic.
Carey, you're wearing black and gold right now.
Yeah,
You're
it
representing the zoo.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh.
That is one of the best teams in the NFL in ever, Bob.
They look good, man. They looked good yesterday. Cincinnati's defense is a sieve, but hey, it doesn't matter.
They're in the
They're
NFL.
so bad.
They're
But
in the NFL.
And here's the thing, too. Like, let's give credit. Russell Wilson outplayed Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is having an outstanding year. The Bengals are not, but Joe Burrow's been
The Bengals
sick.
got some things to fix. They need to fix
they got
that
no
offensive
defense.
line. Their offensive line stinks. I've said that before. They're going to get Joe Burrow hurt. He's going to have to get hazard pay for playing on Sundays in front of that offensive line. Now, the Steelers got some guys to get after the quarterback. One of them, Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. But with that being said, you should block people better. And maybe figure something out on the back end of your defense.
Maybe.
Whose defense is worse for that team's offense? The Cincinnati Bengals or the Miami Hurricanes?
Ooh. I'm going to say the Bengals because the Hurricane, Miami, all of those guys aren't going to go to the NFL. And you accept that. The Bengals, all of them are in the NFL.
That's fair.
That's a problem.
Yeah. That's an apt comparison,
Yeah.
though, Marsh. Like, you phrased it right. You phrased it perfectly. It's based on the offense.
Yes.
Because the offense
And the
can win you
capability
games.
of the offense.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd probably have to go with the Bengals, too. I mean, Russ did whatever he wanted yesterday. The Steelers did whatever they wanted. I mean, how many, walk-in touchdowns did they have?
A few, more than a few.
Oh, man.
Calvin Austin ran right up the seam for a touchdown.
Najee Harris wasn't touched on the
He
one.
wasn't touched on his touchdown.
Russell Wilson made a great play to escape the pocket on the Pat Fryer move.
Yeah.
I don't think wasn't touched until maybe at the
They lost
one.
him in coverage. It was a 2-on-1. You had Mike Williams running down the sideline. The safety was in conflict, and Pat just kind of spun back around in the middle of the field as Russell was rolling out.
Yeah.
The
That was a
Bengals
clinic.
stink.
They do. Their defense stinks.
Yeah. No,
sure.
the entire team.
Oh, okay. Joe
Yeah.
Burrow?
No, he's good.
Jamar Chase?
He's good too. But he's on the team. They are on that team.
Yeah.
And as a whole, they stink.
Okay. That's what's trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Our guy Marsh is going to kick off our NFL Week 13 game notes. He's got to look at just the disastrous situation in Chicago. They fire Matt Eberflus, who somehow is still trying to spin the whole end of the game against the Lions in almost like a positive. No, we're done here, Matt. So Marsh is going to lead us off in the game notes, starting off with Matt Eberflus, but he's also got some criticism for another Bear. That's next on 101 ESPN. NFL Week 13 game notes. Andrew Marsh is going to lead us off, and I know he wants to go back to Thanksgiving Day and the debacle in Detroit.
That was terrible. One, Matt Eberflus. Let's just start with this. He's not good at his job. Hence why he doesn't have one anymore. But
that's harsh.
what is Caleb Williams doing? He gets sacked at the 31-second mark and doesn't snap the ball until there's 6 seconds left. Now, of course, this is when Matt Eberflus needs to step in and save his rookie quarterback from looking like and call a timeout.
Yeah,
I understand. Like you're waiting. Like, hey, are you going to snap the ball? Are you going to snap the ball? Like, because if we're still in bounds here on a throw, like, I'll need the timeout. I get that, but at some point, I'd say under 10 seconds, call the damn timeout. You just wasted, 31 minus 6? How many seconds is that? Quick math
I think
here.
There's going to be math.
Is that 7?
25,
No.
4, 30 would be 5, so.
I shouldn't have done that.
That's all right. Well, we got there.
Did we?
It's 6 seconds for an NFL play, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
what
had
are we
five.
doing?
You had 5 plays left.
25 seconds that have gone by.
25. I said 25. Yeah.
You had 5 plays left, essentially, after if you call a timeout there.
Well, so I was watching that game, and
they get out of bounds and all that. You get what I'm saying?
I've been watching football a long time. That was the worst clock management display I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was terrible.
Like, so what happens is that I think the play, it was the second down play. The sack is what caused all of that to happen. I believe they ended, well, actually, let's go back because they called a timeout right before that because they had 2 timeouts. They called a timeout right before that just as Caleb Williams was about to snap the ball. He panicked. He thought they were going to get a delay of game, so he called a timeout. So that's why you only have 1 timeout at that point, because if you'd have just let him snap the ball, he would have got it. Then you get the sack, which I don't know what the hell play that is because the right tackle didn't shoot. It was optional whether or not you blocked the defensive end. He
Larry
said,
Borum.
I don't want to block him. Don't worry about it.
It was a designed run.
It can't be a design run where you don't block the defensive end. And you don't put hands on him.
Yeah.
Like maybe we put hands and throw him by, but there's never that I know a play where you let the defensive end, if you're the right tackle, just rush and hit your quarterback in the backfield. So that's the second problem. Then you have, as you said, no timeout call. Clock is ticking down. Caleb Williams is telling people to get set. You get off the ball. No, you get on. You get off. Dude.
And then he's just taking his time.
He's like, yep. Calling all the hand signals. And then you realize, oh, crap, now I got to throw the ball into the end zone. You could have called a timeout after the sack, which you probably should have because you got people downfield. It takes them time to get back. Call a timeout. If you throw the ball short on 3rd and 15 or 20, whatever it is, you still have enough time to run your field goal unit out before the clock runs out to end the game. Like, those are scenarios you practice. Call the play, we're short, field goal on, offense off, and you get a kickoff. They didn't do that. They didn't do anything. And so you, sir, Matt Eberflus, probably
Call the timeout. Yeah. It's a rookie.
He was saving. Anthony, you don't know the rules. You get to save those timeouts for the next game. So he will go in and have 4.
If he was the new guy, the interim.
Well, if he,
yeah.
That's why he saved it.
He set up the next guy for success.
Carry over the timeouts for the next game.
Okay, yeah. Yep. I don't think that works that way. And I do think that they should have just you got a rookie quarterback who's playing on the road in that situation. Should Caleb Williams be better? Absolutely. He'll learn from it, right?
He should have been better.
He should have been better there. I'm not at Bears practice every day. I'm assuming they did practice some late game management and all
Clearly
that.
not.
And if they didn't, again, this goes back to the coaching staff, but it's a rookie quarterback on the road in that situation. Williams had led him all the way back in the second half, and you're sitting there, deer in the headlights. Somebody's got to be the adult. Somebody's got to step up and be a leader. So Matt Eberflus failed in that spot. He has failed previously, and if the Bears don't get this right, they're going to continue to fail, and they're going to waste Caleb Williams' talent. Yep. And the kid is talented.
It'd be a damn shame if they did.
By the way, too, I'll mention this as well. Mr. Vikings fan there. The way that game ended for the Bears has taken a lot of heat, I think, off the Lions.
Absolutely.
And maybe not heat as much as just we have glossed over the fact that the Lions are up big at halftime. They are severely banged up.
They're getting injured left and right.
Severely banged up.
Yeah.
they're not getting an extra rest because I think they play on Thursday this upcoming week too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Regardless, this is a team that collapsed in the second half against a Bears team that could not move the ball at all in the first half. I mean, at all. That offense was terrible for Chicago. And the Bears got back into that game against the Lions. We're now banged up. Like, we're talking all the focus on the Bears, but I thought that was not a good look for the Lions either.
Bears got a good defense, though.
At times.
Yeah.
At times they do.
They had the turnover by Jahmyr Gibbs hurt. Like, as he's running into the end zone, big play by the defense to knock the ball out. That was a big play for them. But it just, the Lions, I like them, but
you like the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't blame you.
We'll get to them.
Yeah.
Time for me to eat some crow on that one.
My second game note is it is now up to the Buffalo Bills to defeat the Chiefs and the refs in January. What the heck? What happened on Friday? What was that?
Speaking of second half collapses again, that's two crap teams that you barely got by.
Oh, are we starting to come around, eh?
I'm a little pissed off, I'll be honest.
We starting to come around, eh?
I'm not quite where you are. You're at home plate right now. I just walked into the stadium, okay? So let's not pretend like we're on the same page here with the Chiefs. But what the F? What the fast lane? That Raiders team has nothing. Aiden O'Connell threw for over 300 yards against you. What are we doing?
They don't know.
That was bad. We can talk about Mahomes and the Chiefs and like the lack of deep threats and all that until we're blue in the face. Where the hell's his defense been for the Chiefs? Second half collapse against Carolina. Might not be bad, by the way. Might not be as bad as you thought.
They might actually be okay.
Price look pretty
they're
good.
figuring some things out. I don't know.
They should have won yesterday.
They should have won yesterday.
Yeah, they're figuring some things out.
But the Chiefs' defense, I mean, holy smokes. They're getting progressively worse. Now, they're still going to win the Super Bowl, but it does not look good, guys.
It's up to the Bills to defeat the Chiefs and the refs.
Bills look good.
Guess we're just going to bypass the Steelers, huh? That's cool. You keep doubting us.
your game notes are
Keep
coming
doubting
up.
us. Keep doubting us.
You know what, though? You're right, Carey. For my third game note, I wrote down, in Russ, we trust. And there was never a doubt in my mind, going back to last week when you weren't here, not a doubt in my mind that the Steelers would lose that game.
I don't know if I believe you.
Well, you shouldn't, because I was absolutely crapping on them since you weren't here.
Oh, the Browns loss.
Yeah, I didn't think that they would bounce back in. That was a terrible loss, by the way, against those Browns.
That was a terrible loss. I said that.
And I didn't think they'd be able to bounce back. But you know what? I should have had more faith in Mike T. And my trust should have been placed in Russ.
You should have. 400.
Steeler Nation, let's steal.
400 plus yards.
Man.
He played well, man. Took care of the ball, and they made and you know what I liked most? Like, this is how I know they are a very well coached team, right? Justin Fields didn't play a snap until the fourth quarter, the final couple of minutes of the game. You trust him to be in those situations. He learned from his mistake that he had a couple of weeks ago in Washington where he slid late. You run zone option. The Bengals have no clue how to play zone read. It's not like they ever practice it because what are you doing?
What are you doing? Why are you collapsing?
You want to know the most frustrating
who was that,
thing?
Harris or Warren, who was the running back? Why are you collapsing on that?
Here's the thing. And I've said this for the last couple of weeks because Illinois has gotten beat on zone reads with the quarterback keeping the ball.
Yeah.
When the running back is on your side and you're the outside defender, your job is quarterback. You have the quarterback. You have the cue. You're not going to chase that running back down when he's running zone on the other side of the center. Don't worry about it. Go to the quarterback. If he does bend it back to you, you can fall back and make the tackle.
Right.
The defensive back for Cincinnati jumped inside. Justin Fields outside. You're not going to catch him.
No.
But I thought that they did a fantastic job. Russell Wilson played outstanding. You trust Justin Fields to finish that game off. Najee Harris was catching passes out of the backfield, scoring touchdowns, running. Like and defensively, we know what they're going to bring. Like, I know TJ Watt's going to get after the quarterback. I know it. If you don't, you got to be crazy because he's going to get after the quarterback. They got a scoop and score by Peyton Wilson. Like, they played outstanding yesterday.
Yeah.
And they, to me, and this is what I was saying when they brought Russ in, everybody criticized Mike Tomlin. He doesn't know what the hell is he doing? They need to be able to pass the ball, man. And when you can pass, you can run better. So that's what they've done.
I was one of those people. I didn't criticize Tomlin. I just thought, I'm like, what? This is not going to get any better because I thought Russ was done. Clearly, he's not.
Yeah.
He credit Mike Tomlin, credit Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith has developed a nice little fake Seattle offense for Russell Wilson, and it all looks good.
It works.
It works, and the Steelers work.
We got a text from the 314. Sounds like Carey is cheering for a Keystone State Super Bowl.
I mean, that sounds like a play. Western PA, Eastern PA, do it. Let's go.
Wow.
Sounds like the best two teams in the National Football League to me.
I mean, we already know the NFC and AFC title games, right? We know those matchups.
Do we?
Yeah. Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Lions. That's going to be it.
You keep putting the Steelers on the outside looking
Oh,
in.
they'll be.
Yeah, Anthony,
They'll be in the divisional
You
round.
keep putting your Falcons on the outside looking in.
I told you 3 weeks ago.
I don't blame you, brother.
And I told you
I'm
3
sorry.
weeks ago that
I
they're
apologize.
gonna blow the division.
They can't.
What do you mean they can't? It's 6-6 now.
But
they may not win another game.
4-1 in the division.
They may not win another game. You have to have the
They got the
tiebreaker.
Saints, and they got the
You have to be
Panthers.
tied to have the tiebreaker.
They got the Saints and the Panthers.
No,
They'll win both of those games.
they're done with the Saints.
Well, they got the Panthers.
Panthers might beat them.
Are better.
They're 4-1. Oh, they only got one game left. They got the Panthers.
They're going to lose in Minnesota next week.
Well, we'll see about that.
Minnesota's trying to.
They do have the Raiders and Giants. They have Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. But the Bucks don't play anybody. I looked at the schedule a month ago and I said the Bucks are going to win that division. And you people laughed.
Michael Penix should.
He has got
should
to
get a chance.
You have got to change
This is
quarterbacks,
terrible.
but they're not. Raheem, every time that Kirk Cousins starts a game and they lose, that's on Raheem now.
That was
You've
terrible.
seen this. Yesterday was it. The Chargers should have ended Kirk Cousins' Falcons career yesterday.
That was
They're
bad,
going
man.
to stick with him.
Anthony's got 3 more years.
Not on my watch. Jeremy Rutherford's going to join us next, talk a little Blues hockey with our guy from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, here on 101 ESPN.
time for the Rutherford Report on 101 ESPN.
Anything you folks want to know about the fascinating world of pro hockey, here we go.
3:02, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Thompson and Collier phone line where we got our guy Jeremy Rutherford of the Blues, Jeremy Rutherford of The Athletic, who covers the Blues for us here on 101 ESPN. JR, first of all, happy Thanksgiving. Hope the weekend was great for you and the family. And second of all, you've covered Jordan Binnington's entire career. So when you see him become the franchise leader now for wins for as a goaltender, what's a story or a situation that really stands out to you as you kind of reflect on his career?
What sticks out to me, and I think Mike Liut has kind of said the same story, maybe even Marty Brodeur too, but I vividly remember walking up to Jordan Binnington's locker stall in a training camp and just talking to him. And as a reporter, you never want to insinuate that a player's going down to the minors, right, Carey? Like, you just don't want to talk to these guys and put that in their mind. But, so you kind of tap dance around the question and you say, okay, Jordan, so if you don't make the team here, if you go back to the minors, just, what do you think you could work on? And he really looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, what do you, like, if I go to the minors, no, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. And, I talked to Marty Brodeur about that, and he said the same thing. He said, when I talked to Jordan and sent him down, he just thought I was out to lunch. So it was that belief in himself. It was that belief that he should be at the NHL level. And then once he finally got that chance to do what he's done, it's just been amazing.
JR, a few games since the Blues removed Bannister as head coach and brought in Jim Montgomery. What have you seen? Has there been a difference or a shift in philosophy mindset for this team since the change in the coaching?
Yeah, I think number one, the biggest thing is just a positive vibe, and that's no disrespect to Drew Bannister, but just in talking to the players the past week or so, and I get a piece coming up at The Athletic, what they're saying about Jim Montgomery, his first 3 games on the job, what they've noticed from him. The positive vibe, that energy that he brings to the rink each day, that stands out the most. But number two, I think the attention to detail, some of the tweaks that he's made that have paid off in games. The practices look a little bit different. They're doing a lot of things in the neutral zone that he believes can cut down on some chances against, although that wasn't the case the other night with all the 2-on-1s. But the one thing that Jim Montgomery did say, Carey, is he said when you start with a team in October or even training camp in September, it's probably Thanksgiving before you feel like you know who you are. And so with him just taking over last week, he feels like it could be another 3 or 4 weeks before he can kind of get things implemented and show you what he wants the Blues to look like.
Well, the Blues, to me, without having the hockey sense that you do, JR, the Blues look good. I mean, the Blues, to me, look like a team that has already shown improvements. Now, Saturday was, a step back in some regards, but when you watch the last 3 games under Jim Montgomery, what do you see change-wise?
Yeah, the biggest thing is the compete. I think they're really going out there and they're playing. They're putting themselves on the line. What I want to see is more offense. Like, we've seen some good first periods under Jim Montgomery, which we hadn't seen. But you go 25 minutes without a shot on goal in New Jersey, and, they want to stretch the other night, too. Just the shots on goal haven't been manufactured like you hoped they would. I mentioned the odd man rushes that they gave the other night. They're going to have to tighten that up. But I see a team that believes that it's a better club than people give it credit for. I think they think the coaching change is going to make a difference, and then just give it time, and they feel like they can get there.
The Blues were able to get Philip Broberg back. He missed, almost 3 weeks with an injury. Played 24 minutes the other night. What did you see from him, and how good was it to have him back on the ice?
Yeah, how about that, Carey? I said before the game, sometimes a player comes back from injury. He's not going to play, as much as he usually does. And, Jim Montgomery said when you have a horse, you let it run. And boy, did he let him run. He played over 24 minutes, just shy of what Justin Falk played. So second most ice time on the team for Philip Broberg. And I agreed with Jim Montgomery after the game. He said it looked like there was a little bit of rust, but I think that was kind of to be expected after missing the 12 games with that lower body injury injury in the knee that we all saw happen. But I think, he's going to get back up and running like he did the other night. And Jim Montgomery said, he goes, boy, is it great to have a big guy who can skate. He's going to make a dramatic impact on this team.
Jeremy Rutherford is our Blues insider with The Athletic here on 101 ESPN. Now, JR, you also were a part of a recent Athletic article in which you were kind of asked, like, okay, let's foreshadow things here a little bit with the NHL trade deadline. And you discussed that the Blues would kind of fall into the soft sell tier. Why did you think that the Blues, at least at this point, at the deadline, could be a cautious seller?
Yeah, I think those are always tough assignments because you're answering the questions in real time. And I think when I turned that into the Athletic, Jim Montgomery kind of had just taken over, a game or two. And you kind of look at the big picture. Like, they project out for 75, 80 points, and it's going to take 95 points or so to get into the playoffs. So you're going to have to pick up 15, 20 points somewhere along the line. And is it possible? And if they put themselves in that position, will Doug Armstrong make some moves to help them get over the hump and be a playoff team? He says he has in the past. I believe as much as he wants to make the playoffs, he would do that. But just trying to be realistic in the here and now until we see this team, pick up some points that maybe it shouldn't have got, beat some teams, climb back into this playoff picture. I think it's going to be a little unrealistic until that happens. And so you paint them as the cautious seller. I don't, it's not going to be a deal where they're just looking to unload a lot of players, but I think that they would move some guys who make sense, whether it's a Brandon Saad or a Nick Leddy or some of those types of players. So that's kind of the label I went with right now. And then obviously they've got a lot of time to change people's minds.
JR, if they do sell at the deadline and get something in return, will that or could that block a Dvorsky or Snuggerud if they're ready to come up at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think, depending on which way the year goes, if they're in contention, then I'm sure Doug will add. And if they're not, I think they could trade a couple of names that I mentioned. And I think there's a really good possibility, Carey, that at the end of the year, or if not sooner, you could see a Dvorsky up here. And at the end of the year, I would think you're definitely going to see a Jimmy Snuggerud. I'm expecting him to turn pro and leave the University of Minnesota and come to St. Louis and want to play pro games right away, just like he did last year, just like the Blues were hoping. So I think there's a real good chance that we're going to see a couple of these young prospects down the road. Even if the Blues are in playoff contention, I think you'll see a Jimmy Snuggerud.
Hey, JR, what's the update on Pavel Buchnevich?
Yeah, so nothing concrete here, guys. I was at practice yesterday, and he did not skate. The last thing that Jim Montgomery has told us is that they just want to be a little bit of cautious. His words, they didn't want to potentially exacerbate an injury, the lower body injury. So I would think that he's on that flight to Winnipeg now with that 4-game road trip. That's my belief, and I guess we'll get an update potentially tomorrow on Buchnevich.
All right, Jared, great stuff as always. Appreciate it. Thanks for your coverage at The Athletic and for joining us each and every Monday here. We'll talk to you again next week.
Yep, thanks, boys. Talk to you later.
All right, we'll see you. That's Jeremy Rutherford of The Athletic here on 101 ESPN. Hey, we have your shot right now to score a pair of tickets to see your St. Louis Blues take on the New Jersey Devils on December 17th at Enterprise Center. The first 12,000 fans in attendance that night will take home a Jake Neighbors Winter Classic bobblehead courtesy of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Text in now 314-399-9646 to win free tickets to Blues versus Devils on December 17th. And you can find all the ticket details and a bonus chance to register to win at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app. This might be a little tough for a trivia question, but where was Carey Davis on Saturday afternoon? What historic landmark was Carey Davis at? And it might have a little bit of a tie-in to the Blues. So just a little hint for you. If you know that answer, text it in now, 314-399-9646, and you'll go see the Blues take on the New Jersey Devils.
It's a great question.
Thank you, Marshy. I appreciate that. You know what wasn't great?
Oh, no.
The Miami Hurricanes' performance over the weekend.
What'd they do?
They lost.
Really?
The Clemson Tigers' performance.
They lost too, huh?
Yeah.
Found their way into the ACC championship game, though.
None bigger, though, in terms of absolute losses this weekend than Ryan Day's Ohio State Buckeyes.
That was bad.
Let's get into the college football topics, and we'll start right there with Ohio State and Ryan Day not being able to beat Michigan. Will it matter when it comes to the playoffs? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. was a rough weekend if you were an Ohio State Buckeyes fan. And boy, they are ticked in Columbus. I don't blame them. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. Ryan Day, once again, falls to Michigan. Wasn't he the one that at one point said they were going to hang 100 on Michigan? Or
Did
something?
he say that?
I think so. I think a couple of years ago he said we were going to hang 100 on Michigan.
In what, 4 years?
I don't think they're at 100 now in 4 years. They lose 13-10. Read you off some stats, guys. Just some basic stats. Nothing analytical about this. Michigan had 235 yards on Saturday. They turned the ball over twice. They threw for a whopping 62 yards. Their quarterback,
Aiden
Davis
O'Connell?
Warren. Oh, no, Aiden O'Connell, he lit it up. Davis Warren, Michigan's quarterback, 9 of 16, 62 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. If I read that stat line to you before the game, say, hey, this is what Michigan's quarterback's going to do, you would have picked Ohio State 42-0.
Probably.
Michigan won 13-10.
I said this a while ago because I've seen this Michigan team play. I've watched them. Obviously, Illinois played them watching them pre that game and watching them post that game, watching them play in that game. This might be one of the worst Michigan teams I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
Back to like the Rich Rod era of Michigan football. And, I mean, Ryan Day could quite possibly play in the national championship game, lose, and still get fired. Like, they could make it to the national championship game. I think the only way he keeps his job at this point is to win the national championship. You can't lose to Michigan. Not this Michigan. Like Michigan last year that won the national championship. Okay. Right. Michigan the year before that made it to the Final Four. Right. Okay. Yeah. This Michigan team that is now 7-5 would have been 6-6 had you beat them, and you should have. And you're the number 2 team in the country. Yeah. With one loss to the number 1 team in the country. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you should lose that game.
Plus, let's further this. Ryan Day set out this offseason to get tougher. He was sick of hearing about how Michigan was more physical. They were the tougher team, all of that. So they brought in Chip Kelly to design a run game and to get quote unquote more physical and more tough. Carey, I don't need to tell you this. You have a Super Bowl ring playing for one of the toughest organizations in football. You can't fake toughness.
No.
You can't act tough. You have to actually be tough.
Yeah. You got to work at being tough. You have to work practice to be tough. You have to go through an entire offseason of actually implementing things that force you to challenge yourself and really, go there, take it there. This team, Michigan is so one-dimensional. You just read off the stats. You could line up 9 people in the box, cover their 2. Now they do have a good tight end. So
who didn't play? They got one They have one passing option. He didn't play.
So I line up 9 people in the box, cover the 2 receivers man to man. If the tight end leaks out, cool, whatever. Right. Running back, force them to pass the ball, which they cannot.
Yeah.
And you can't win that game. And Marshy, I know you were going to talk about it. The things after the game, as a coach, like there is nothing that makes my blood boil more. Because now you're upset because they want to plant a flag in your stadium. Where was the fight when you had 60 minutes to do so?
Seriously.
People, and I tell my players this all the time when I coach, they actually cheer you when you hit people in the mouth. Like they pay well for it too. You hit people as hard as you can legally, they will pay you a sum of money that will change your life. You can physically go harm people within the rules and get paid well for it. And now you want to fight after the game? You want to throw punches with helmets on? You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like that's not how the game is supposed to be played. Play it in between the lines. Play it for the 60 minutes, or if you're going to overtime, cool. But you're mad because you lost, and you lost to a team that is terrible? Man, get y'all butt in the locker room and let's go home.
Absolutely.
Like, what are we doing? I would be so embarrassed. I'd be like, hey, let's go. What are we doing?
Yeah.
You're wasting time.
Yeah.
If you got this much damn energy left, you should have used some of it during that 60-minute period that we just had.
Yep.
You didn't. So let's go.
There's a lot of altercations after the game in multiple games.
Oh, the whole
it was
weekend.
great.
The whole week.
Awesome.
You had fights everywhere. Florida and Florida State.
Florida State, you stink.
It's seriously.
What are you fighting for? You stink. Who are you mad at?
Yeah, Mike Norvell he's upset, and he's going to make this big to do because they planned that. Like I don't mind him, like taking the flag out and throwing.
Don't disrespect our.
Like, come
You're
on.
disrespecting your home stadium by not showing up to play.
Absolutely.
That's the disrespect.
And then you're going to take shots at Billy Napier as well. You're going to say like, oh, if they want to kind of act that way.
You got to find something to be upset about. I saw Mike Loxley, the coach from Maryland, upset in the post-game handshake with James Franklin. And James Franklin talked about it. He's like, yeah, he's mad because we got third and fourth stringers in and we threw a touchdown. You got first stringers in. Stop it.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing it. I got to get these guys some. They want to play football too.
Right. You got to tell. I'm gonna tell my guys not. I'm gonna play my third and fourth stringers against your first stringers.
And you can't stop it.
You can't
That's
stop them.
a you problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my guys not to play football.
That's not my fault.
You're gonna run cover 0 against me.
Yeah, deal with it.
Yeah,
I
got
don't have
no
a
issue
problem.
with it.
Yeah.
None.
So you brought up overtime, and I don't want this team to make it by this segment and without getting talked about, because if they lose in the SEC championship game, I don't want to see them in the playoff.
Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah. You take it. You go to overtime with Georgia Tech. And
they got outplayed for 3.5. I would say 3 quarters.
I was texting with a group of friends during that game. They are all SEC hunks. Like they believe the SEC, walks on water. Ain't nothing better than the SEC. And I told them, I said, the only reason Georgia Tech will lose this game. It was still in the first quarter. They had 3 opportunities inside the 20, and I think they got 3 points. I'm like, they're going to lose the game. But it shouldn't even be this close. Georgia is not as like there is not one team. I think that let me take that back. There is one team. It's Oregon that is clear and away the best team in college football right now. All of the other teams have something that is not good about them. Whether it's not a good quarterback, not a playmaker, not a defense, there are so many things. Maybe not a good head coach. Like there are so many teams right now. And I'm glad we do have a 12-team playoff, because now you can all figure it out. You all stink. Figure out who's going to be the best of the stinkies.
So when Texas wins
it's
the SEC championship.
Oh, you're already declaring that.
Texas got beat up by Georgia earlier this year.
They got rocked.
They were so indecisive. They put in Arch Manning like, Quinn, you sit over here for a little bit. And it was like, oh, no, Arch, you come back. Quinn, go back. Like they were beating the hell out of Texas. I will see if Texas fixes it. I hope they blow them out and Georgia's out of there, too, because they're not a good team either.
It'd be funny if a Big 12 team came in and won the SEC in the first year.
That's pretty funny. I'll give you that. Texas's defense is legit. Their defensive line is outstanding. But Carey's right. I mean, Georgia went down there and they smoked them. So we'll see. So your conference title games, UNLV and Boise, Tulane, who lost. That conversation done now.
Yep.
So the whole Tulane and Boise and SMU, well, all these, like, that's done because Tulane lost to Memphis outright. Tulane and Army will play in the American Athletic Championship. You got Iowa State and Arizona State. And Arizona State is kind of fun. Arizona State's kind of interesting. But they're going to play in the Big 12 Championship. Georgia, Texas in the SEC Championship. Penn State, Oregon in the Big 10 Championship. Now, you're reading about Indiana.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how, but I think it's based on, like, because Indiana and Penn State are both 8-1 in the conference, both 11-1 overall. They both have a loss to the same team, which is Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken. Penn State lost to them as well.
Yep.
I couldn't figure out what it was, because what I saw, they had the wrong team on there. It was written wrong. So
okay.
I couldn't figure out what the common denominator for Indiana being jumped by Penn State. Now, I think maybe it's the how much they lost by, because Penn State only lost by a couple of touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, to Ohio State. And
yeah, Penn State lost by, I think
21-7.
Let's see here. They lost 20-13, so they lost by 7.
Yeah, and Indiana lost by like 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Indiana lost by 15. Or no, I'm sorry. No, 38-15, excuse me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what the tiebreaker is either.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I don't know.
Nah, let's see Penn State play a real football team.
Well, we've seen that. They lost to the team that lost to Michigan.
That is bad ball.
That's
man.
real bad. And then Clemson and SMU will play in the ACC championship. The ACC's the mess. Mm-hmm. That one's the mess.
And you know what bothers me the most is that the ACC is going to let Alabama get in the damn playoff. They're going to be in.
Nah, I don't think so.
No,
That's
they're
the
in.
part. That's the part for me too.
They're in.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think Alabama, Ole Miss, like those teams that are on like the bubble, I don't think that they're going to get in.
Anthony, they're getting in. It's Alabama.
We'll know tomorrow.
I know, but I don't think so.
We will know tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Good to see.
This is, if nothing else, it is a wide open college football title.
Yeah.
Wide open.
You don't know who's going to do what.
And I know I like Oregon. Okay. I don't think Oregon's invincible.
I hope Boise State wins the national championship.
I would love that.
I'm not going to.
Or SMU. Just somebody, I hope, like somebody that we've never talked about in years.
I don't believe what I'm going to say, okay? I don't believe this is going to happen at all. It goes against everything I've talked about with their head coach, including in this segment. I wouldn't put it past Ohio State to win it all. That's how wide open it is this year. If they don't face a team that doesn't have a defensive line like Michigan, and outside of Texas, I don't know who's got a defensive line like Michigan. I could see Ohio State doing it.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
they
believe
play
they
one
will,
less game. That might
help them.
It helps.
All right, we're going to do advice with former athlete because that's Carey today. So we do this every Monday. If you got a text that you want to send in to us, a question for Carey, anything from his playing days or anything that you've wanted to ask a former athlete, text it now to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Advice with former athletes next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues took on the Philadelphia Flyers over the weekend. They went to overtime and lost by a final score of 3-2. However, the Blues will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Winnipeg Jets. And you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN with the pregame starting at 6 o'clock. Puck drop is at 7. We talked earlier today with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider from The Athletic. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 ESPN Schaefer Door Company mobile app. It is free. Go download it if you have not done so already. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Tonight we have Monday Night Football, Broncos-Browns. Pregame starts at 6:30. And coming up next, we have advice with former athletes. Athlete, in this case, as Carey is the only athlete in the studio today. Professional, that is, Anthony. So get your text into the Air Comfort Service text line if you have a question. 314-399-9646. Advice with former athlete coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Give me some advice, quick.
All right, as Marsh just told you there in the Sports Center update, we're going to do advice with former athletes right now on 101 ESPN. So if you got any questions for Carey or Super Bowl champion, Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. Marsh, what do you got?
All right, before we get to the Air Comfort Service text line, we got to talk about this Trevor Lawrence ordeal that happened yesterday. Carey, obviously you've played in the NFL. You know how quick plays emerge and how quickly you need to respond or react to anything that's happening on the field. What did you see from that hit yesterday? And then to follow that up, what would you do in that situation if you were a teammate of either player?
Well, I didn't have a problem with what Evan Ingram did in hitting, the Texans linebacker Shahir in the back and tackling him to the ground. I thought that was a normal response. I don't think it was intentional. These things happen so fast. Is he trying to hit him? Yeah. Hell yeah. Is he trying to inflict pain? For sure. Is he trying to hurt him? No. And so that's the difference. And when you got two people running at those speeds and someone lowers themselves at the last second, it looks terrible. But I don't think the intent is there to hurt or to harm or to injure. I think the intent is to put a physical hit on a player and have you reminded, this game is tough. And if your shoulder is sore because I hit you or your ribs are sore because I hit you, good. But not trying to forearm you in your head and concuss you and put you out of the game. I don't know. I haven't come across many players with that intent to injure someone. Are you trying to put a hit on them? For sure. But to injure someone to end their day or in their season or in their career, that's not how mentally we work. I'm trying to hit the hell out of you, but I'm not trying to hurt you to end your season or your career. So I didn't have a problem with the response by the Jaguar players. I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with him being ejected from the game because given the rule and how it goes, yeah, you should be ejected. And he apologized. I think, and people will say, well, after the hit, he got up and was jumping around. The amount of emotion that's going on in that moment, you're fired up, you made a play, wasn't the intent to harm him, and then you get hit in the back of the head, and now you're pissed off. So I didn't have a problem with any of the actions that took place yesterday. The hit was egregious, but I don't think his intent was to hurt Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, it's tough. You played on a football field before at that level, Carey. You know what the speed is like.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go in slow motion, yes, Trevor Lawrence is giving himself up, but Al Shahir is already launching it.
He's already going.
He leveled him. He gave him the elbow. It sucks. Trevor Lawrence laying there, and you can tell he's clearly concussed. I mean, it's terrible all the way around. The problem is Al Shahir just a week ago had a late hit on Tony Pollard, and he's also the same dude that punched Roshan Johnson for no reason in week 2. So there's a little bit of a history here brewing with Al Shahir.
Kind of reminds me of Nazem Kadri.
And they'll suspend him more than likely for it, and they'll lighten his pockets.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not that it's not going to be punished, like and it warrants punishment.
Yeah.
But I just don't. There is very rarely a time where you want to physically harm someone. Now, I can fight you after the game. Like, we can fight
At midfield?
Wherever. Like, we can fight, but there's not it's just not something where people are trying to harm or injure someone and in their career or in their season. Like, it's not.
I mean, you're trying to. I would imagine,
trying to
Carey,
hit you hard enough to know
you're trying to inflict pain. There's no doubt about it.
No question.
Are you trying to concuss somebody?
No,
I would
I'm
think so.
definitely trying to inflict pain, though.
But I imagine there's a brotherhood. So
you're not trying to end someone's season or their career, or you're not trying to put somebody down like that.
Yeah.
But it is a physical sport, and it happens very quickly.
All right, let's go to the Air Comfort Service text line. We'll start with the 618. CD, I am becoming an old man. I am 57. I used to compete in national powerlifting competitions and had a little success. Not little success, a little success. There's a lot. There's a difference there.
Yeah.
My mind and heart thinks I'm still extremely strong. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still an extremely strong mother fastlaner. But my body reminds me I'm also an old mother fastlane. Torn tendons, etc. How do I convince my mind and heart that I am just too old for some poop? Brent. Didn't use the word poop.
For some of this poop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest things. I mean, I deal with it all the time, like mentally, because I think this is not just in sports. Like, this is life. Like, mentally, I don't feel much different than I did when I was 25.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel like I'm the same person. Mm-hmm. And now, physically, I've aged, clearly. Don't look the same. I have no hair, right? I got gray hair in my face.
Still look good, Carey.
Didn't have
You're
that when I was 25. I think that's one of the hardest things in life is getting older and realizing that some of the things you did when you were 20, 25, 30, 35, your body just is not going to allow you to do. Mm-hmm. I will say, you might still be able to lift, just probably not at a powerlifting level. Maybe not be able to put all of that weight on there, but still staying some sort of competitive. Like, staying competitive, I think, is good for your spirit. And good for your, good for your soul.
And obviously, diet is a huge part of that.
But it sounds like to me like this man wants to lift and still get into the gym. And, I used to squat a lot of weight, Anthony.
Yeah, you did.
I don't have any intention on squatting that much now. I just do 225, and I'm okay. Instead of like 6.
Hey, there's still 2 plates.
It is.
That's awesome.
But I don't need to put all that pressure. I'm not trying to run into people. Mm-hmm. So I think you just have to allow yourself to give yourself some grace and understand you can still do some competitive things, but if your body is going to tell you no, you're going to spend more time sitting down because of injury than you would if you just did less.
My mind's telling me no. But my body telling me yeah.
It's J. Cole.
Who is that? Oh, no.
J. Cole. It's
No,
Kendrick Lamar.
don't say who it is.
It's Kendrick Lamar.
No, don't say who it is, actually. We don't need that.
Dodger Blue.
No. Next question, Marshy.
Yes.
All right, there you go.
From the 5-7.
I'm picking up what you're laying down, Carey.
All right. From the 573, what is the hardest part of game prep? Film watching, walkthrough, or assignments? Or is it something else?
Game prep? Walkthrough it's I don't think any of it is hard. I think just making sure that you're prepared. Like, it becomes what you do, right? You got to study for it. So I think the thing that becomes hard is when you have elite players on the other side that you have to contend with, whether that's an elite pass rusher that you know as a running back, I'm going to have to help my lineman, I'm going to have to chip my way through. Whether that's an elite, and if you're a quarterback, where this safety is, where is Ed Reed at on this play? Where is Troy Polamalu? Where is this linebacker at that's going to be blitzing?
Yep.
I think the hard part is just being prepared for sometimes the unknown of what special players can do. Walkthroughs are easy. Like, the preparation part is easy. Like, it's tedious, it's a lot, but it's not taxing. The stressful part comes in when you have to worry about who's blocking T.J. Watt this weekend? Who's blocking Myles Garrett? Like, when that's the hard part, because those guys can ruin a game.
This one's from FedEx Colton. I think this is interesting, and this plays off of what we were just talking about altercations, not within the parameters of the game. But FedEx Colton says, football needs something like hockey. Hockey polices itself because you do a dirty hit. In hockey, you get your teeth knocked out, so you play with respect. Seems football is missing that. Would you agree with that?
Not at all. Like, you're not going to hit a quarterback dirty or low. Like, you're going to, trust me, people will find a way to get that person back if it's a dirty play. Like, if it's something that, and again, you saw Evan Ingram. He was the first person there to tackle Al Shahir in the like hit him in the back, like just getting after him because my quarterback is here concussed, and then it was a big scrum. Like, you're not going to now, it's not in the rules where you can fist fight like in hockey,
right? If
a player hits your teammate.
I think that's kind of what he's probably alluding to.
Yeah, you can't fist fight, but you can find a way. Trust me.
I think the best way to get back at somebody is to score. Right? Target that guy for the defensive player. Maybe throw to him.
Tom Brady style.
Nah. Best way is to inflict pain if you can.
Really? Pain. Not embarrassing the guy.
Oh, no. Nothing's more embarrassing than somebody smoking you. Being smoked. Like, and you're laying there. You're like, God, is that you? I'm not ready yet.
Real quick, this is slightly off topic, but what did you think about the what would you call it? Everybody making a big deal about Derrick Henry getting hit yesterday by who was it? Was it DeJean?
Yeah,
Cooper DeJean. Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, oh yeah, Cooper DeJean. He took Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry just caught the ball and was like looking backwards.
Right. It's football, man.
Yeah. If Derrick Henry had his both feet planted and going forward, he would have ran that guy over.
Yeah. I think,
come on.
I think Cooper DeJean continues to prove that. That was the player I was talking about last week. He's an athlete. He's a freak. But you're right. It's kind of a good spot. Good spot.
It was a great spot for him.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, if somebody tells me, I never got smoked, I never got hit. Well, you never played football. Don't talk to me.
Very true. You're on the sidelines.
You were watching.
Yeah.
Because if you played, at some point somebody got you.
Even kickers have been.
Everybody
have been hit.
Gets got.
Especially when you get watching a little bit. I got ear hold one time by a quarterback. I was watching. I'm like, oh, this play's over.
It's not.
It's awful.
It's not over.
Yep. Talk about embarrassing. That was it.
Stalter on the fumble.
Oh, well, yeah, I think he. I don't know which.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
I just said I got smoked. Like, you added it.
That's my bad.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Let's do Carey's game notes next on 101 ESPN. We heard Andrew Marsh's game notes from earlier today, and now we got Carey Davis's NFL Week 13 game notes.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the New York Jets, Jets. They need to move on from Aaron.
Why? He's not the savior.
I don't think it's working out that way. I mean, you fired your head coach, GM, gone. Like, it's time to move on. Like, just go in a different direction.
Listen, Carey, NFL staffs are large, rosters vast.
Yeah.
There are many people that we could fire to turn this thing around for the New York Football Jets.
I don't think anything you can fire to turn it around.
No?
You can probably start a different quarterback and get the ball rolling in that direction. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He did. I will give him credit for this. This is probably the first time I heard him take accountability. He said, we made a lot of mistakes in this game, and a lot of them came from me. And we got to be better, and I got to be better.
He also said the inconsistent wind affected some of the throws.
Well, I didn't hear that.
This guy's a puke. I'm sorry.
Just move on, man. Move on.
Did you see the Leonard Williams pick six?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a 300-pound defensive lineman.
He
was moving.
Yeah.
The play right before that, Garrett Wilson was wide open.
Well,
wide open, and he missed through it.
He wasn't trying to hit him on that one. Devontae Adams is his guy, and I'm sure he wanted.
He was looking for Randall Cobb.
There you go. Yeah. Randall not on the team.
I think he did throw it to him, except for he threw it out of bounds.
That was Garrett Wilson, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Well,
Randall Cobb was probably somewhere over there, he thought.
Yeah, sometimes former players, they come back, they stand on the sidelines.
So he's throwing it over there. Yeah, that makes sense, Marshy.
Here's the thing. When he did throw that interception to Leonard Williams, he didn't budge. No. Like, he didn't put forth any effort to run. He just stood there and I'll let the 300-pound guys chase him down.
Right.
Why would I do that? Move on, man. Cut your losses. We have seen this. The damn New York Giants just fired their quarterback and said, we'll eat the salary. We saw the Broncos say, Russell, get out. We'll pay you to go away. Just leave. Just go. Mm-hmm. Just cut them. Just move on. You can't bench them. You got to let them go. Let them go. Hey, just wander off into the pasture gracefully. Whatever happens there happens.
They're in worse shape now than when they traded for him.
They are in way worse. The entire team has gotten worse.
They are in worse shape now than they were when they acquired him 2 years ago.
It's bad. It's ridiculous. And I would just move on. If you have any sense whatsoever, just say the heck with it and I'm moving on.
Sorry, Carey. Splash back to yours. The steak because Cobb was 2 of the 100 hands over there.
Hundreds of hands all over me.
Jeez, what a weirdo. And a bad quarterback
Not really good.
Now.
My second note that I got over the weekend was the Chiefs continue to find a way to eke out wins.
That's right.
They have won 9 of their 11 games have been by 1 score or less.
Tell them, Carey.
You want me to believe, despite only losing 1 game, and they probably, this is what I took away from this weekend, and it's happened time and time again with this Kansas City Chiefs team. Bad teams find a way to lose games.
You have always said that.
They do.
And you're right. I'm just saying you have been consistent with that.
Bad
that has stuck in my head. Yeah.
They find a way. You go back to the Falcons game. They find a way.
Yep.
You go back to the to the Jets. Or no, not the Jets, to the Broncos. Who got the kick blocked?
Raider.
The Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos got the kick blocked.
Broncos get the kick blocked.
But they're not a bad team.
But they're not a good team.
They might be. I'm thinking more like the Jets, who were up 21-7 in that game. They got a kick return for a touchdown.
The Jets stink. They
got
bad.
The fumble on the kickoff.
The Raiders,
they were going in to have it 28-7, and then Leonard Williams scored.
They stink. The Raiders fumble a snap when you're in field goal range and you lose the game. You're a bad team.
The Bears found a way to lose in Detroit.
Bad teams find ways to, and the Chiefs are they're just steady Eddie, and they find a way. The other team finds a way to lose.
Yeah.
That's what's been the Bengals found a way to lose against the Chiefs. They aren't doing anything spectacular on any in any phase of the game.
Yeah.
That was a block kick. That was a good play by them a couple of weeks ago. But in my opinion, watching this team, and I got excited. Like, Pacheco broke like a 20, 30-yard run. I'm like, all right. That's what you've been missing.
Yeah.
You've been missing the explosive plays. Kareem Hunt's steady, but you don't got nobody that can. Pacheco did that, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Like, they're not fun to watch. And I don't think that they're going to make it far in the playoffs. If they find a way, they got a big game against the Chargers. It's a divisional game. They could possibly lose that game. They could possibly lose against the Steelers in Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. And then you got to play the Broncos at Denver to end out the season in a game that could mean something. You fighting for the first overall seed to get a first-round bye.
Yeah.
So there are a few games there that I think still up for grabs for the opposing teams against the Chiefs. We'll see how they finish it out.
Yeah, Chiefs going to win the Super Bowl.
All right. My last point, and I'm sorry, Tanisha, I saw your message earlier. I think you said it's your birthday
Happy birthday.
today or maybe in a couple of days.
Ish.
And you were frustrated about this team. I would be too. They're done. 49ers are done. Christian McCaffrey looks like he popped his calf in that game.
PCL.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. They
Is
said,
it PCL?
they said it was a PCL injury.
PCL is the back of the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, post crucial ligament, something like that. Well, that might be what that vibration was that came up from his calf. Like they are. They've had way too many injuries. They've had too many seasons where they've made it to the playoffs and to the
extra games.
to the Super Bowl and not to come out with a victory. It's done. Like I don't know if the window is closed, but this season is over.
Well, I think the window is closed on this group.
Probably.
You know,
because Brock Purdy is due. He's going to be due in a minute. And you're not going to be able to pay all of those. Like
Shedeur Sanders.
no, I don't think he fits Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, you sure fit any offense, any style, and you would fit the offense to his ability. I would.
Anyways, no, I think this group unfortunately is done. They're gonna have to add. They're gonna have to add through the draft too because they don't have any salary cap space. Yeah. After paying all those guys, it's probably the problem. You win, you pay the guys, you want to retain them, all that. But yep. All right, the Gauntlet is next. We do have a returner because of Alex Ferrario. Dropping the ball on Wednesday.
Blaming
when
Alex?
he filled in. Well, yeah, it was up to him.
We don't place blame around here.
Well, it's an individual sport at times.
Well, I mean, it's the off season. We have the Ollie Marmol blame machine that Anthony whipped up for us, but we don't have an Alex Ferrario one. So I guess you're right, Carey.
I'll draw a little pie chart in terms of the blame and how it all goes back to Ollie here for you. I'll get that fired up. Gauntlet next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. All right, I call my guy Stewie's on the line right now. Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stu, do you have some good news about rates?
Yep, they're starting to dip. So this is a great opportunity if you have a rate in funds or high or lower, but not that quite in the low sixes, mid sixes, upper sixes. This is a great opportunity right now to refinance. They're taking a dip. Now, you and I both know, Anthony, you got to take advantage while you can. There's no closing cost, so if later on rates go down again, you can always refinance second time, no cost. Take advantage now, get the lower rate, save your money, and then later on refinance again if the rates go down again. If they don't, your bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. You're ahead of the game. Now, I got to ask you a personal question, Anthony.
Sure.
Are they going to let Jamie back into the country?
Well, we don't know. I mean, Jamie's got a spotty track record, so I would put the odds at 50-50 at best, Stewie. But hopefully our guy comes back. What's that?
Go. I hope he does. It'll be good. At least if the Blues win, great. If not, keep him there.
Yeah, exactly. Kenny came from you, so keep him. That's our guy, Stewie. You can call him on his personal cell phone number and do what he says, man. I mean, look, call now. Take advantage of it right now with the rates where they are. 314-324-4440. Maybe you're looking at your dream home. Maybe you want to consolidate debt. Maybe you want to take some cash out for the holiday season. Hey, look, it's your money. Figure it out with Stewie. Again, 314-324-4440. You can always Google the bagel loan to get that number as well. Stewie, have a great one.
Have a good one.
NMLS number 226715.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
4:04, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome back Nathan after Nathan beat Alex Ferrario last week. What's up, Nathan?
Not much. Just trying to stay warm here.
Yeah, good man. Hopefully you do. Round 2 now for you. Who would you like to take on?
I think I'm going to take on Carey Davis.
Carey Davis!
All right, Nathan, good luck.
All right, good luck, Carey.
All right, Carey's going to head to the cone of silence right now. Nathan, you're going to tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel.
All right, Marshy, spin that wheel.
What are we hoping for, Nathan?
Anything but random.
Anything but random. And Marsh is giving me a look that it is random.
Do you think people pick Carey because they want to hear us chant his name?
Yeah.
He wasn't there last week, so that's the reason I picked him. Him and, he's coming off, I guess, vacation.
Yeah, he was traveling a lot, so.
Yeah, so maybe get an advantage there.
All right, Nathan, it is random. Marsh didn't even say it.
Okay.
The look on his face said it, and now I'm looking at it is random. So you're going to get 4 random questions, all worth 2 points, unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
All right, let's go.
Historically, how many goose feathers are attached to a shuttlecock? How many goose feathers are attached to a shuttlecock?
Oh, I'm going to have the options on that one.
I'm shocked, Nathan, that you don't know this. Not at all. I would have asked for the options right away. 16, 30, 42. 16, 30, 42.
I'm going to go 16. Final answer.
Question number 2. Who was the first president to pardon a turkey?
Pardon a turkey. Give me those options again.
Options are Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, or John F. Kennedy.
I'm going to say Jimmy Carter, final answer.
All right, Nathan. Question 3. In 2009, The Lonely Island released a Grammy-nominated single, I'm on a Boat, featuring a guest appearance by...
Repeat that question again?
Sure. In 2009, The Lonely Island released Grammy-nominated single, I'm on a Boat, featuring a guest appearance by...
Give me those options.
T-Pain, Kanye West, Eminem.
I'm going to go out on that and say Kanye. Final answer.
Question number 4. Name the sport in which Dennis Rodman's daughter, Trinity, is currently a star.
Oh. Give me the options.
Options are basketball, soccer, or track and field.
Soccer or track and field? I'm going to say soccer. Final answer.
All right, let's bring back Carey from the Cone of Silence. Nathan, how you feeling?
And go either way today.
Okay. Carey's walking back in. Got a strut in his step. He's got his propane tank of water.
He almost forgot it.
What?
Last week.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. He was so excited to get out of here.
Who was I?
He's so excited. All right, Carey.
Yeah.
Your category today is random.
Oh, love it. Not really.
Are you ready?
Yep, sure.
Marsh?
Pack a lunch.
Okay.
Historically, how many goose feathers are attached to a shuttlecock?
What?
How many goose feathers are attached to a shuttlecock? Historically speaking, of course.
That's hilarious. Options.
16, 30, or 42.
16. Final answer.
Question number 2. Who was the first president to pardon a turkey?
Man, what? Why in the world would you need to pardon a turkey? And then why
many
would
reasons.
you?
Many reasons.
Oh, my God. Options. This is bad.
Options are Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, or John F. Kennedy.
Gotta be Richard Nixon. That's just a guess, but yeah, sure. Final answer.
All right, Carey. In 2009, The Lonely Island released Grammy-nominated single, I'm on a Boat, featuring a guest appearance by...
Oh, who did what?
In 2009, The Lonely Island released Grammy-nominated single, I'm on a Boat, featuring guest appearance by...
Part of me just to say Pitbull. Pitbull, final answer.
Question number 4. Name the sport in which Dennis Rodman's daughter, Trinity, is currently a star.
Oh. Is it volleyball? It's not track and field. It's not swimming. I should narrow it down. I don't think it's basketball. It's not softball. Or is it? Oh, man. Options.
Options are basketball, soccer, or track and field.
Oh, okay. So it's not volleyball. I don't think it's track and field. And I don't think it's basketball. I'm going to go with soccer. Final answer. That is a guess.
All right. Let's go over these. Historically, how many goose feathers are attached to a shuttlecock? Nathan, you went with 16. Carey, you also went with 16. Correct answer is...
It's 16.
You guys were so indecisive about it, you both nailed.
These guys
16.
know their badminton history.
Yeah, they certainly do. That's right. Both of you needed the options, but you guys both got it right.
All right.
This one, this question threw you both off. In 2009, The Lonely Island released Grammy-nominated single, I'm on a Boat.
I'm on a boat.
Featuring Pitbull.
Featuring a guest appearance by... Carey, you went Pitbull. Nathan, you went Kanye.
Hey!
The correct answer, of course, is...
It's T-Pain.
It's T-Pain.
I'm on a boat. It's going fast.
What were the options?
T-Pain, Kanye West, Eminem.
I might have got T-Pain if I took the options.
It's a big blue watery road.
All right, so it's 1-1. You haven't heard that song?
I don't
Yes,
recall.
you have.
I'm sure
I would have
you
to hear it.
I'm on a boat. It's the guys from Saturday Night Live that do it.
Take a good hard look at the fast lane boat.
All right, moving on. Name the sport in which Dennis Rodman's daughter, Trinity, is currently a star. Nathan, you went with soccer. Carey, you also went soccer. Correct answer is...
It's soccer.
Both of you needed the option, so we have a 2-2 tie. It comes down to this. Who was the first president to pardon a turkey? You both wound up with different answers. Carey, you said Richard Nixon. Nathan, you said Jimmy Carter. Nathan.
Walk it off.
Are you hollering?
Correct answer
Terrible.
is...
It's John F.
It's John F. Kennedy. We got a tie, which means we've got a walk-off. This is how it's going to work. We're going to read you the walk-off question. Carey's going to write down his answer first, and he's going to show it to Marsh and I. Nathan, you're going to hold off on your answer until we say, go, Nathan. And then we're going to need your answer right away. Closest to the pin wins. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Here is your question. According to the United States Census Bureau data, what was the population for Jefferson City, in 2023? According to the United States Census Bureau data, what was the population for Jefferson City in 2023?
Oh, that is awful.
Carey's writing down his answer, or at least thinking about writing down his answer. Nathan, you're holding off. You're getting closest to the pin that wins. Marsh,
at all.
You're going to be on...
Okay.
That's 3-0.
All right, Nathan, what's yours?
40,000.
We do not need a calculator. Nathan.
You have chosen wisely.
Nathan, you said 40,000. We just heard you, and we know that you won. Carey, would you like to... Would you like to share what you wrote down before we give you the answer?
I said 115,000.
115,000.
Yeah.
Was Carey's answer.
Yeah. How many people in Jeff City?
Correct answer is...
42,552.
Wow, Nathan, not bad.
Someone who once said 3,000 for Yarmouth Yager games played. I know you're T-Pain right now, Carey.
On a boat. Yep, about to paddle over into the corner.
Nathan, congrats. You got round 3 tomorrow, man. Nice job.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll call you tomorrow.
Good job, Nathan.
Right. I'll see you then. Talk to you then.
There you go. I can't say anything. The tiebreakers are terrible.
Oh, man.
They're terrible. They're awful.
I was going to say 80,000, and I was like, that's too low.
That would have been double.
Oh, man, that T-Pain one just breaks my heart.
That one
I
does.
should have taken the options. I was like, I'm not going to know that.
I'm going fast.
I can hear his auto-tune right
me
now.
too. Yep.
Right now.
Yep. All right.
Darn it.
Well, Carey's going to head to the penalty box.
Hated back there.
and I'm going to give you my Week 13 game notes. And one of them will be on how the one team needs to take a page out of the Ravens playbook. That's next on 101 ESPN. From the penalty box, it's Carey Davis. How's it going?
It sounds like I'm underwater.
I'm sure it does.
Like the sound is not clear.
Yeah.
Better to be on a boat than be underwater.
That's right.
Am I right?
You're darn right.
I can hear you all, but I don't sound how I think I sound.
Sure.
To myself.
Yeah. It's terrible, Mike. It's a terrible corner to be in.
You know,
It
you don't
is
like
the
it, play
punishment.
better.
That's right.
That's
All right.
ridiculous.
We heard Marsh's game notes and Carey's game notes. Here's my Week 13 game notes. Carey, this one kind of pains me a little bit because I do feel like definitely last year you and I were in lockstep on this team until the AFC title game.
Yeah.
And this year, I feel like I've wavered a little bit, but the Ravens are not a Super Bowl team. Not with that defense. Now with Justin Tucker missing. I mean, he looks washed.
I feel bad for him.
Two field goals he missed and an extra point yesterday. And he missed them in like a variety of ways, too.
Right, left, like
he covered it all, except for right down the middle.
Yeah.
Or between the two goalposts, at least. Yeah, so Justin Tucker doesn't look good. The defense played okay yesterday. Like, it's not like the Eagles went up and down the field on them. But we know that the Ravens defense has struggled. And when the Ravens have lost, they have looked completely lost offensively.
Yeah.
Outside of Lamar Jackson kind of bailing them out a couple of times, he had a 40-yard run when it really didn't matter at the end there. Hit Zay Flowers a couple of times.
Yeah.
But otherwise, man, this is not a Super Bowl team.
I agree. I think right now they have some things to clean up offensively, figuring out, how they get into those explosive plays. Lamar missed a couple of throws. He missed Mark Andrews on that the first quarter, might have been the first drive, where Mark Andrews was running down. They had a mix-up defensively between – I cannot hear myself. They had a mix-up – that's better. They had a mix-up between the DBs for the Philadelphia Eagles. Mark Andrews was running down the sideline wide open, and Lamar missed him. He missed a few throws, but they just don't – for whatever reason, the explosive plays. And Lamar has played great. He was my MVP all season up until yesterday. And now it's Saquon for me. And I think that game for me made that shift in my mind.
Man, Saquon made the plays.
Lamar Jackson threw an absolute dime. It wasn't his fault. It was to Nelson Aguilar.
Dropping babies, Nelson Aguilar.
That's terrible. How about the catch, though, by Mark Andrews in the end zone?
Yeah, that was a good catch.
He's some strong-ass hands.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's actually starting to come around. He was slow to start the season off, but he's been a lot better. They just have to figure out a way to have those explosive plays more often.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. All right, so that was my first takeaway. My second one, a little bit of humble pie for me, a little bit of crow. I've long stated the Eagles are talented, but I think the Nick Sirianni viewpoint, opinion, whatever, skewed my judgment about how good the Eagles are. They like slow play opponents. It's interesting to kind of watch them play. Because in the first half, you're like, oh, yeah, the Eagles are a little off today.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, they almost have you figured out. And Vic Fangio, it did not look good in the first couple of weeks of the season. But Vic Fangio's defense is playing lights out. That front seven is nasty. They looked fast, aggressive, always in position last night. I love Cooper DeJean, the second-round pick out of Iowa. So the defense is playing well, and we know about Saquon and Jalen Hurts and all the weapons they have on offense. Yeah. So the Eagles are legit. I'll stop with the Nick Sirianni hate. I think it's a foregone conclusion, it seems, that it's going to be the Lions and the Eagles in the NFC title game. And I could see the Eagles winning that one. I'm not getting into predictions right now and all that stuff, but I
would say
the Eagles are
for
legit.
Sure. I don't know. The Lions are worrying me, but
I don't like anybody else in the NFC.
There's a few teams in that division there, Anthony.
There's another team that's only
one game back.
Suffered 2 losses.
Very true.
On the year.
Very true.
They wear purple.
They do wear purple.
Yeah, they're a good team.
They do.
Very good team.
I think the Eagles have figured out that I said this about a month ago, hand the ball to Saquon and get out of the way. Jalen Hurts has one 300-yard passing game this entire season, and they haven't had to lean on him, haven't had to lean on, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They are leaning on Saquon Barkley being the best player in football, and he's showing it week in and week out.
Yeah.
And it's not to me, he's starting to distance himself from all of the other players. I think people are feeling like Josh Allen is in that MVP conversation. Lamar has been all year. But for me, Saquon is he's starting to spread that gap a little bit because he's doing it week in and week out, passing game, running game. He's spectacular.
Yeah.
So, and you said that defense for the Eagles is playing lights out as well. Those two rookie corners that they have, the defensive line is showing up in opportune times, making plays. They are coming together and playing really
They're
well.
a team.
They are.
They're a team. They're not, we talk all the time about weaknesses and, if they could just overcome this. Look at the Ravens. The Ravens are not a complete team right now.
Right.
The defense is just not good enough.
And the thing about the Eagles is you really can't load the box because if you decide to try to play it, Jalen Hurts hasn't had that huge passing game, but you want to play around with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith when he's healthy.
Right.
It can turn bad for you really quickly.
Even Goddard, too. Goddard's back. He missed some time early in the season. He's back. He had a touchdown yesterday. All right. My final takeaway. No hyperbole here, okay? I know I can get going and I play it up and all that stuff. I'm dead serious when I say this. It's time for the Falcons to take a page out of the Ravens playbook. And what I mean by that is the Ravens had the huevos rancheros however many years ago to bench a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Joe Flacco when they knew it was time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Michael Penix Jr. is Lamar Jackson, but it's the same scenario. They figured, the Ravens figured they were better off going with Lamar, even though it was late in the year and they still had a playoff spot on the line. And Lamar rejuvenated that team when he stepped in.
Yeah.
I have no idea if Michael Penix Jr. could do the same thing, okay? I have no idea. Let's cast that aside for a moment. Kirk Cousins looks done.
That wasn't good.
The four each and every one of them were horrendous.
Looked worse than the other one?
The one he threw for the pick six, we were joking about it before, the damn cornerback had to slow down or else he would have ran past the interception.
It was the paper plane throw.
It just was floating in the air.
It was a terrible decision, one, but the arm strength is not there.
Yeah.
He can't move. There was a crucial third down where they got it. I mean, Bijan ran the ball all day. They were consistently in Charger territory. And the Falcons' defense, which is not good, played well yesterday.
Yeah.
And as soon as they get in deep inside the opponent territory and that the yardage shrinks, Kirk Cousins becomes even worse. He can't move, Carey.
Yeah, that last drive, you're on the 33 in the Chargers territory. You get sacked for you recover it, but then you
he lost the ball.
You end up throwing an interception to finish that drive off.
Yep.
It's like you can't have those mistakes. Like that's just it's just bad football, and it's not going away.
No,
I know. We were so excited about that 500-yard game that he had earlier this year against Tampa. That was a hell of a game. He played outstanding. But he has had moments, the beginning of the season, where we saw him against the Steelers, and we were like, that looks bad. Mm-hmm. And then he had the moment or two.
He had the fourth quarter against Philly.
He's had two really good games, and they've been against Tampa.
It's Tampa, yep.
And
You're
then
right.
the rest of the season is kind of meh to not good. Yesterday was not good. You can't have 4 picks and you can't throw an interception to finish the game off when you have an opportunity. As you said, being in that territory plenty of times, you got to find a way to score points.
And I know Younghoe Koo is struggling too. How many times, though, he's missed a bunch of field goals, which means the Falcons have also been deep in territory, opponent territory, and have not got it done.
Yeah.
They're not good in the red zone. This is a
Kyle
Kirk Cousins
Pitts didn't
problem.
have a catch yesterday.
Yeah, he was going for him on the one. He lollipopped him. He lollipopped the ball up. I mean, it was terrible.
You got to think players and not so much play. Like, you got to get your guys that are difference makers the football. Like, I thought it was a problem that they were leaning so heavily on Mooney. Like, Drake London is your number 1 receiver. Kyle Pitts should be your number 2. Mooney, he can catch passes and make big plays here and there. But
he's a vertical threat.
He is, and he should.
If you got a quarterback with an arm.
Correct. So, I don't know. I think it was just a bad day for the Atlanta Falcons and for Kirky.
I think they should bench him. I don't think they will. Raheem Morris has backed them. They're going to Minnesota this weekend. But yesterday should have been the last day.
Revenge game.
It should have been the last day.
There you go, Marshy.
He is immobile and the arm strength isn't there. Yeah. Like it's done.
I think he should play at least one more game.
I know you do. I know you do. Yep, I know you do. All right, it's the It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We got the Sports Six Pack Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Carey Davis will come out of the penalty box. Nice job, CD. You have served your punishment. Again, Sports Six Pack is next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Over the weekend, the Blues lost to the Philadelphia Flyers in overtime by a final score of 3-2. They'll take on the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow, and you can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN with the pregame starting at 6. Puck drop will be at 7. If you missed our interview today with Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider from The Athletic, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Tonight, we have Monday Night Football. It's the Broncos and the Browns with the pregame starting at 6:30. But coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack. So get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming your way next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
Before we get into our first question for Bet the Board, we welcome on Tim because it's a new month and it's time to play Bet the Board. We're going to do our draft for the final month of 2024. What's up, Tim?
Not too much. How's it going, guys?
Doing great, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. You have the first overall pick. So would you like to be teamed up this month for Bet the Board with Carey Davis, with Jamie Rivers, with Andrew Marsh, or me?
I'm going with the champ. Give me Marsh.
Yes! Marsh is the defending champ right now. And Tim, you got yourself locked on with Marsh. Congrats.
Thank you.
Let's do this, Tim.
Good luck.
Good luck, Tim.
Thank you.
All righty. Thanks, Tim. There we go. And we do have 3 more spots open for Bet the Board this month. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. So if you want to be paired up with me, CD, or Jamie, text in Bet or Bet the Board, and you might have your opportunity to play this month with one of us. All right, Marsh, fire it up.
Question number 1.
All right, this first question comes from the 618. If I would have said Illinois would finish ranked above Missouri, what would have been your response?
You're a wise man or woman.
Something went wrong with Mizzou.
You just know things.
Injuries.
How the way of the world.
Mizzou'd it.
They didn't have any injuries.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What would I have said? I would have said one of the following.
I like the last thing you said.
Mizzou'd it.
There you go.
None of them. None of those
handle the pressure of the expectations. Nah, I'm kidding, man. I think Mizzou had they were supposed to be in the college football playoff. They essentially played themselves out of that opportunity. The loss, you almost lost to Boston College to start earlier in the year. You almost lost to Vandy, which we found out that actually is a good Vandy team. They beat the number 1 team in the country. But you did get spanked against Texas A&M. That was a tough one. You got throttled in Alabama, which I think most people thought you would lose that game. That was the one loss people were willing to give you.
Yep.
And then you were unable to make a tackle against South Carolina, and you let a shovel pass walk into the end zone.
They'd be in right now.
They would be.
They'd be in if they could tackle.
Yeah.
If you make one of those plays.
Yeah, this was set up perfectly for them.
And I think the frustrating part, I know for Mizzou fans and for anybody, is you don't get the same team back. This was your best opportunity to have one of those memorable seasons. Is it still a really good season? Yes. But it's not the level of expectation that you had going into the season.
Yeah.
You were talking about this team playing in the college football playoffs with an opportunity to win a championship. Now they're on the outside looking in.
I will say this, though. The window is not closed. I mean, if we say the window is closed, Carey, we really haven't been paying attention to college football this year. I mean, we're talking about teams like Indiana and SMU and whoever being in the college football playoff.
Do they have a first-round receiver?
This is wide open
on the roster next year.
No, but I mean, look at how parity has struck college football.
I do agree with that.
I can't say that the window is closed for Mizzou when college football feels as wide open as it ever has been.
Then why didn't you take advantage of that this season?
You weren't good enough.
It's hard. It is hard.
You weren't good enough.
I think it's really hard to win a championship. Like, it's really hard. It's really hard to stay locked in and dialed in, for an entire season. You will have moments where you could be all in and focused, and then you'll have lapses. Like, again, that South Carolina loss to me was that put the nail in the coffin, obviously, because if you win that game on the road, you are in front of some of the teams that are in front of you right now because you have a better record. So I think they just had a rough go about it. They were unable to seal the deal when the opportunity was presented.
Question number 2.
From the 636, have you all ever broken something from being pissed off watching a game? I see the videos online of people breaking stuff when their team loses a game, but I think a lot of it is staged.
I think so too. I think there's a lot of people that staged it. I mean, why are you recording?
Why are you breaking TV?
And even if you are recording for, I don't know, you just want to experience the moment again. If your team wins, still it's recording. So you gonna punch a TV because you're recording. I haven't broken anything. I'm the person that walks around afterwards. That's awful.
Just pacing.
It's unbelievable. I did it yesterday, in fact. Yeah, that's just terrible. It's terrible.
I've been walking around lately.
A lot. They haven't won in a month. Sorry. Poor Killian's been watching it with me. I was telling you guys, after the Falcons lost yesterday, he goes, Daddy, do you have a second favorite team? I go, no, buddy, this is it. He goes, well, who was your first favorite team? Because I think you tell how hurt I was.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, if we just get him off the Falcons, we'll be good. This is a 6-year-old. Who knows?
Why is our flag football team named after that garbage of a franchise?
I should have put him in Chiefs uniform. I'm like, no, buddy, this is it. This is my life.
You got to get that young man. Listen, don't do that. You made that decision. Allow him to have a second team.
Oh, yeah, no. I will never. Are you kidding me?
I will
never force him. I will steer him elsewhere.
It feels like he's letting you know, Father, I would prefer to root for a different team.
He can root for anybody he wants.
I think you need to say those words to him.
I have, and I've actually said to him, Killian, I wouldn't be a Falcon fan, buddy. I wouldn't choose them. And I don't think he has.
Our sons tend to do what we do.
I know.
And you're sitting there.
He can see it.
Watching it every day.
Yeah.
And he's watching you.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I want to be like my old man.
Look at him. He's so angry.
This is perfect because I just saw, I think it was a TikTok this weekend. And this was beautifully made. It's this guy and he is, he's playing all these different roles and whatnot. And he's playing his dad. His dad's like, hey, champ, gives him a Bears shirt, but it's him behind like a sliding glass door.
Yeah, I've
and
seen
it's like
that.
he's out of Interstellar.
Yes.
He's like, no, don't do it.
Because you can see the past. Yeah.
That's tough.
Oh man,
snake pit's
Anthony's
crushing me.
Biceps.
Can you imagine having a dad who roots for the Falcons and Sharks? Just such a sad life for the little man. Look, you don't even need to include the Sharks. At one, I don't root for them. All kidding aside, and the Falcons have given me a lifetime of misery.
That's got to be tough, man.
It's tough,
Never won a championship.
No.
But you know what,
You
though?
played in them, though.
Hey, listen, they've won an NFC championship. They've won two of those.
Nobody counts those.
No,
Anthony.
they certainly don't.
You know what,
I've
though?
never seen an NFC championship ring.
Nope.
I know
They
they
got a
have
trophy,
them.
but
I think they get rings too.
yeah.
Never seen one.
For
Or they
2
don't want
weeks.
to.
2 weeks in 2024. You got actually more than 2 weeks. Been riding that Chiefs bandwagon.
I was.
That Yukon Huskies bandwagon.
Yeah, damn right.
We almost had it in October.
I couldn't.
Slipped through our fingers. Went right off the glove.
Dodgers. That's right. Go knock on the Dodgers there. Zoosh says, talking about my son, he goes, he wants you to cheer for a better team too, Anthony. Absolutely, Zoosh. That's what he was trying to tell me. He's smart. He's a smart kid.
He wants you to be happy.
Yeah.
Essentially is what he's saying.
Yep.
So he was asking you, do you have a second team?
Right. He was leading me.
Do you want to cheer for a second team?
Yeah, now's your opportunity, Dad.
Like, you can do that.
Right.
Nobody's forcing you to.
No.
To just take this team.
No, but
your entire life.
Do you know why I don't move on?
Because when they win,
correct,
it's going to feel you're going to feel on top of the world.
Win.
I got to tell you,
I really
Anthony,
don't. I don't think they'll win. But if it ever happens,
let me give you a little insight into this, because recently I have made a decision. Right, I am a lifelong Cardinal fan. But I have made the decision to root for the Dodgers, and damn it feels good.
Wait a second. Why are you guys giving me so much crap with the Chiefs when he did it with the Dodgers?
We should.
I did.
The energy should be the same.
Yeah,
thank you.
I did. It feels great. But you did it for a Super Bowl run. I'm going to do it.
You did it for a World Series run.
Well, so
you did the exact. Hold on. You did the exact same thing. Your team was out. You were sick of the losing. You were sick. You were hurting.
You went back to your team.
You jumped on the Dodgers.
You went back to your team.
I'm
still here.
No, you're going to be a Cardinals fan.
I will cheer for the Cardinals.
You're not going to ditch them
until they play the Dodgers.
No.
In the NLCS.
No, because on that
Sunday, what year?
Because that Sunday night
for a while.
That Sunday night in Atlanta, I was all Falcons when they played the Chiefs. I didn't bounce back. So it was a 2-week loner. And as I've often said, Chiefs fans, they didn't want me, but I was there.
Dodger fans enjoy having me as a fan. I haven't talked to you.
Now, why do you got to do that?
No, I'm just saying. I don't think
I thought we were being vulnerable and honest.
No, I didn't. That wasn't a dig at you. That was me patting myself on the back. Wasn't kicking you.
Carey lived in L.A. for a little bit.
I did live in L.A.
Anthony, you lived in Kansas City.
I went to Kansas City once.
Yeah,
went to Great Wolf Lodge.
Yes. Some say it's the best place in Missouri.
Some say. It was fun. I don't know. All right, it's a fast on 101 ESPN. I think we answered 2 questions. Let's get to the other questions in the Sports Six Pack next. Missouri Athletic Club, man, what a great spot. I love being a club member. I love being a club member for myself, whether it's working out, whether it's, just taking part of all the activities that they have there. But when it comes to being, somebody that's got a family of 5 and you're always looking for new things, especially with the kiddos, whether it's Easter or Christmas or Thanksgiving, they always have something going on. How about Halloween with the trunk or treat? Missouri Athletic Club does a great job of always presenting different events. And every time it's never put together on a whim. It's never put together haphazardly. They do a great job of making sure that everybody's taken care of and the family enjoys themselves. So my wife, Chris, and I, we always enjoy bringing the kids down to the Missouri Athletic Club, getting them involved in certain activities or taking part of certain of the bigger events. It's always a great time. That's my MAC, Missouri Athletic Club.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
All right, before we get back into the Sports Six-Pack, we've got our second contestant for the month of December. It's our guy Zoosh from the Snake Pit. What's up, Zoosh?
Hey, nothing. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
We're doing great, man. Appreciate you playing Bet the Board. It's always nice to hear at least a voice when it comes to the Snake Pit. Welcome in.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing me in, man. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Now, Zoosh, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the Broncos fan? Or no, that's Droid.
No, I'm Kentucky fan. Cowboys fan.
Okay. All right. Ooh,
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now I know why I don't see your NFL takes. Yep.
Right.
From one miserable.
I'm tied with you in the Pick'em Challenge, though.
Oh, that's right. Zushu and I are going back and forth on it. We're leaving Carey in our dust.
I got to make some different choices this week.
I only missed one yesterday. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, nice job, man. Very impressive. All right, Zoosh.
Right.
Would you like Carey, Jamie, or me for December?
So what place did Jamie come in? I missed the final countdown on that.
So Marsh finished first. I was second. Carey third. Jamie dead last.
No, did I finish?
Yeah, see, I think Jamie's got something to prove. I'm going to go with Jamie.
All right, fair enough. Jamie.
Yeah, he's going to be angry for last place finish.
he does play better when he's angry, so that's a good call. All right, Zeus, you're paired up with Jamie for Bet the Board in December, man. Good luck.
Kick ass. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. No, thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.
You got it. See ya. Bye-bye.
Right, there you go. Bet the Board. Tim took Marsh. Zeus just took Jamie. Carey and I are still available for December for Bet the Board, so keep texting in. You have an opportunity just like Zeus. All right. Marsh. Question
number 3.
From the 910, if you could do one career do-over for someone who fell off, who would it be?
Ooh. One career
do-over. Andrew Luck.
You just said him.
In the break.
You just said him in the break.
Michael Vick?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Mike.
That was a poor decision.
Yeah.
Top of the game.
Yeah, don't go back to Newport News, Virginia.
Yeah, nah.
During your
what
breaks.
Injury?
Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
He's the poster child for like the injured player.
Yeah. I always think of Grant Hill as well. He's another one that had a great career, but also injured.
So not to go too dark on this, but what about Aaron Hernandez?
I thought you were going to say Lynn Bias.
No.
That's another one.
You know, I wonder if Aaron Hernandez doesn't get drafted by the Patriots. Or you go back further. He goes to UConn. His brother DJ played at UConn. Yeah. His father played at UConn. Mm-hmm. He loses his father as a high schooler. He passes away, routine hernia surgery. And they say like that's kind of when things went sideways for Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
That's when Florida also recruited him. Maybe he doesn't go to Florida. Maybe he goes to UConn. He gets drafted by the Seattle Seahawks. I wonder if things are different. Maybe not. Maybe a situation where he was always going to kind of be a bad apple. But I don't know. Could be different.
There's a lot of players that they often think about injuries, though.
Yeah.
Like players that got injured.
Vic's a good one.
Vic is a good one.
That one's tough to beat.
Yeah.
What about you, Marsh? You got one?
I don't know. Those are really good ones. I'm trying to think of one in like baseball that comes to mind.
Yeah, who could use a do-over?
Oh.
Do you think, I know this might be a little weird, given that this guy is one of the best, but with injuries and whatnot, if he stays healthy his whole career, Ken Griffey Jr.
I thought that's a name that I thought, but he still had 600 home runs.
Yeah, that's kind of that's what I'm saying. But you think he could have had more?
Yeah. I almost said Mike Trout, but he doesn't need a do-over. He just needs a new team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been injured a lot.
Had a lot of injuries, but he's got like a bunch of MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Ken Griffey is a tough one because he's had because he had so much success, and he still had over 600 home runs.
What about Albert's second stint? Not his second stint, but his second team in the Los Angeles Angels. Doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the injuries. I mean, we're talking close to breaking the all-time home run record, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good one. Gator brings up a good point too. Jake Taylor from the documentary.
Yeah,
Major League and Major League 2.
He wasn't trying to. He didn't think he was going to come back.
Oh, yeah, bad knees.
Knees were killing him.
Yeah, I'll say Jake Taylor. I think Gator nailed it.
Jake is a good one. That's a great one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Question number 4.
This one comes from the Water Boy. You guys may have already talked about this on the Gridiron Guys podcast.
But I showed up on Friday. Carey wasn't here.
Oh, man.
Don't know what to tell you.
What are your thoughts about Mike Tomlin calling out George Pickens? And what do you think about his behavior on and off the field?
I think Mike T, this is your guy, Carey, so let me shut up after just making this one point. But Mike T ain't going to tolerate it at all, and he should have called him out. George Pickens has been reckless, man. Clean it up.
You can't have penalties that hurt the team. Like, and pretty much, especially like the post-snap penalties. Pre-snap and post-snap penalties are just mental issues. You're offsides, or you false start, or you get a unsportsmanlike penalty. Like, those things are things you can't have. Now, if you get a penalty in play, you're holding, or, pass interference, that's just, you got beat. Yeah. That's part of the game. But the pre-snap and post-snap penalties are killers for a team. And there was another incident, so George Pickens was doing that, but I also saw Cam Hayward talking to him. And when I saw Cam talking to him on the sideline, it just brought me back to, that's the difference between Pittsburgh and other places. Mm-hmm. Because at some point, there was a veteran, I'm certain, that talked to Cam, or he saw one of those veteran players talking to another player, and he realized, oh, this is how you do it. Mm-hmm. And now you'll have players, Najee Harris will be that player for somebody down the line. Like, that's just how that organization is run. And when you have a coach that's been there as long as Mike Tomlin has, he's seen so many things. He's, had won a Super Bowl, been to 2 of them. Like, he knows what it takes to get to that point. And he also knows he's also had talented receivers that have made poor decisions in his tenure. Martavis Bryant is one of them. Antonio Brown is another one. Like, he's seen talented players come and go, guys that, Antonio Brown probably a Hall of Famer, despite all of the other things that he had going on. So when you've seen those things, you know what it can lead to and how it can be detrimental to your team. I think he's in the right place, and he'll get it together.
Got a text from Bob on the East Side. Breaking news 101.1 ESPN hires Matt Eberflus to help with the sports six-pack clock management.
We'll never get through it.
We'll be one and done. 2 segments.
By the way, I got one more for you for the career redo, and I can't believe I didn't think about it first. It's absolutely Alvin Mack.
Just came in on the text line.
I didn't want to interrupt you because we're kind of talking about something serious with George Pickens. But Alvin Mack popped into my head.
Man, that is the best linebacker ever.
You're talking about Hall of Famer.
You've never seen a linebacker be able to diagnose plays in the manner in which he was. Yep. Understanding. You saw him in the film room. You saw the scouting part of it. You just got to see him dissect plays. And then the fear that he gave to opponents, like how he talked to them. Yep. You'll never see a linebacker that great.
His head coach. His head coach said it was the finest athlete he ever coached.
And to see his leg laying there like that and unable to, just heartbreaking.
It's not good.
Still not okay with that.
No, I agree, Carey. All right, let's move on. It's a tough topic. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Blues cautious sellers at the deadline, according to Jeremy Rutherford. We talked to him earlier, also wrote about it. What are our thoughts on the Blues being maybe cautious sellers in a month or so, a month or two? That's next on 101 ESPN. 507 Your Time Check is brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Jeremy Rutherford joined us earlier today, and he had wrote at The Athletic. He was asked to be a part of, they do kind of roundtable discussions at The Athletic. He was asked to discuss where the Blues would fall right now in terms of, tiers for trading. And JR noted that the Blues, at least at this point, would be a cautious seller. I asked JR about that when he joined us earlier today. This is his response.
Yeah, I think those are always tough assignments because you're answering the questions in real time. And I think when I turned that into The Athletic, Jim Montgomery kind of had just taken over, a game or two. And you kind of look at the big picture, they project out for 75, 80 points, and it's going to take 95 points or so to get into the playoffs. So you're going to have to pick up 15, 20 points somewhere along the line. And is it possible? And if they put themselves in that position, will Doug Armstrong make some moves to help them get over the hump and be a playoff team? He says he has in the past. I believe as much as he wants to make the playoffs, he would do that. But just trying to be realistic in the here and now until we see this team, pick up some points that maybe it shouldn't have got, beat some teams, climb back into this playoff picture. I think it's going to be a little unrealistic until that happens. And so you paint them as the cautious seller. I don't, it's not going to be a deal where they're just looking to unload a lot of players, but I think that they would move some guys who make sense, whether it's a Brandon Saad or a Nick Leddy or some of those types of players. So that's kind of the label I went with right now. And then obviously they've got a lot of time to change people's minds.
I could see that. I could see the Blues being cautious sellers. I could see Doug Armstrong viewing it as unless things dramatically turn around, and they might. This, to me, has looked like a different team since Jim Montgomery has taken over. Now, it's only been 3 games,
right.
So it's a little hard to project what this team's going to look like in a month or two. I could see them heading in the right direction. I could also see them kind of hovering around 500 and being in a spot where if they do get calls on Brandon Saad or Fox or Leddy, them deciding to still have one eye on the future and doing what JR is saying, being a cautious seller. I don't think that's unrealistic, and I don't think that's painting the Blues in a negative light.
Well, I think preparing for, when those other players are on your roster, you're going to have to make some room at some point when Dvorsky is here and when Snuggerud is here. You're going to have to find a way. So those guys that we're speaking of will probably be on the move at that point regardless, right? So if it's at a time where you can get something in return, and this is – I don't think it's a knock against Saad or Fox or what they've done here, but you are preparing for what this team is going to look like for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And if you don't see a future with those players on the roster, you tip your cap for the great job that they've done while they've been here, and you say it's time to move on. And it's just the business part of it. And I think any player that has played the game at any level, especially at the professional level, no matter the sport, understands that that's the business side of it. I tell you this all the time. I had a teammate when we drafted a position in the first round. That was his position. He called me and said, "Man, it's been real. Man, the writing's on the wall. I'm out of a job." Because that when they draft your position, specifically first round picks, that person is more than likely coming to replace somebody. And that's just how it goes. So, if they are a team that is selling, I would prefer that they aren't, because that means that they're probably playing well enough and they are in a position to make the playoffs and hopefully make a playoff run. That's something I think this city has been needing.
Yeah.
We ain't seen playoffs here for a while, man, between your two major sports. And so it becomes frustrating. But if you have eyes on the future and what you expect this team to be going forward, you got to do what's in the best interest of the team.
The other thing here, too, Carey, is that you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They could be exactly what I said, was right around 500. That's where they are right now.
Right.
They could be right around 500, and then Doug Armstrong just decides, you know what, the return that I'm hearing, I'd rather just watch this thing play out than sell off some of these pieces. In 2018, 2019, that's exactly what he did. Yeah, I think he fully intended to make some trades, and then it was, you know what, we're heading in the right direction, so we might as well hang on to what we have right now. I'm not hearing the return that I want, and we move forward.
So 5/12, December 2nd, 2024. Anthony says this Blues team is the same as the 2019 team that won the Stanley Cup.
I said earlier they'd win the Stanley Cup, right? Carey, I wrote it down. It was
it was 2/11, 2/13, and then he said it at 5/12 on the same day.
We're on the same page.
You all are. Whew, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Blues are going to win the Stanley Cup.
There you have
according to Marshy and Stalter.
And you can listen to it right here on 101 ESPN, the home of the Blues.
Absolutely.
Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Given the Lions' injuries, have the Eagles emerged as the team to beat in the NFC? Have the Ravens proven they're not a Super Bowl team? Is there any doubt that the Bills are the top team in the AFC? We're going to go rapid-fire roundtable next on 101 ESPN. Hey, still time to head out to Auto Centers Nissan and take advantage of their Black Friday every day. Even though Black Friday was obviously last Friday, they extended the deal, so now you can take advantage of low finance rates available right now. But you head out to Herculaneum right now or go to AutoCentersNissan.com. Take advantage of opportunities like they have at like 0% APR on Pathfinder and Rogues or 0.9% APR on Frontier. But look, over 700 new and used vehicles, all in one location. So if you're not looking for a Pathfinder or a Rogue, or maybe you're not even looking at a Nissan, you're looking at a pre-owned vehicle, well, they have the largest and best used selection in St. Louis. New Nissans and select used vehicles at Auto Centers come with their complimentary lifetime warranty, plus select new Nissans come with their complimentary maintenance plan, as well as the 30-day return promise. So head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you, or again, check them out online. They've got all kinds of different vehicles, different price points. New Nissan Kicks are priced around $20,000. Brand new Nissan Sentras are now priced $23,000, both with low payment options for all credit types, and they do have financing for everyone at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Before we do a roundtable for some NFL Week 13 topics, we have Brandon in, and Brandon will be the third person to bet to draft for Bet the Board this month. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. You have two options because Tim took Andrew Marsh and Zoosh from the Snake Pit took Jamie. So you have CD or me. Who would you like for Bet the Board in December?
All right, I'm doing this because of sentimental reasons, and I know he played for a totally different team than the one I root for, but was drafted for my team. So I'm going to pick CD because I'm a Colts fan, and he's going to try. I know he will.
All right, Brandon, I like it. Yeah, I was a Colt at one point.
CD was in the same huddle as Peyton Manning at one point.
Pretty cool.
He's my favorite player, so CD's got to come through for.
I got you, Brandon.
There you go.
There's a lot of pressure. I stunk last month, so.
But I'm
a gamer.
You are a gamer, darn right. Brandon, thanks again. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. Good luck with CD this month.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right. There you go. So CD is now off the board. So whoever's left, if you don't want to be matched up with me, no hard feelings. Just don't text in so you don't get me. But if you do and you're good with it and you want to roll, I am the last person on the board for Bet the Board in the month of December. All right. Some Week 13 topics. Some of these we touched upon throughout the show, but I had mentioned this before when Marsh brought up the Bears and the debacle on Thanksgiving. The debacle that day, because of the Bears, and then, of course, the subsequent firing of Matt Eberflus, I think it took a lot of the heat and a lot of the spotlight off the fact that the Detroit Lions are incredibly banged up, and they allowed the Bears to get back into that game when the Bears were pretty much dead at halftime. I mean, that game should have been over. Given all that, given the Lions' injuries, you guys think the Eagles have emerged as the team to beat in the NFC, or would you not go that far?
I mean, I've been saying it for a while, and I know we kind of went back and forth about it because of Nick Sirianni, and I just felt like they got the best players. Like, offensively, I know what Detroit has offensively. They match up very well. Both offenses are extremely explosive. The receivers that they have, the running backs that they have. Detroit got 2. The Eagles got 1. But when you're looking at the defenses now, I think the injuries are starting to mount up a little bit for what the Detroit Lions have defensively with the injuries. And I just think that if I'm going to – Saquon is the best player in the league. Now, if Jahmyr Gibbs was the sole running back in Detroit, he might be right there with him. This is not a knock against David Montgomery, but Jahmyr Gibbs is more explosive than Montgomery is. He has a role. I think that – and this frustrated me – this part frustrated me with the Detroit Lions on Thursday because they both had around the same amount of rushing yards, right? Mm-hmm. But Jahmyr Gibbs had like 9 carries, and David Montgomery had 21.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs had 87 rushing yards. David Montgomery had 88.
Yeah.
But he's got 2 times triple the carries than you have. Like you are Jahmyr Gibbs is an explosive player. Well, I guess that's double the carries that you have.
That's right. You were rolling. Sonic.
You're not give Jahmyr Gibbs the ball.
Yeah.
He's the better player. And it's no knock against David Montgomery. He serves a role. He has a purpose. But you can't tell me I'm going to give this guy 9 carries and he has 9.7 yards per carry. And I'm going to give this other guy 21 carries and they got the same amount of yards. That to me is going to be the detriment of the Detroit Lions. Like, it's not about, I don't care. It's about the players on the field. Who gives me the better chance when I put the ball in his hand to score a touchdown, no matter where I am on the field? The Philadelphia Eagles have figured that out. It's a guy in the backfield, number 26. If I put the ball in his hand, he might score. I don't care where we are on the field.
Yeah.
The Lions got that guy, too. Except they don't want to give him the ball as much as they do the other guy. And that, to me, is going to be the downfall of the Detroit Lions. It's not going to be a 4th down decision where, Dan Campbell says, we're going for it on our own 28, and it's 4th and 20. It's not going to be why. It's going to be because you don't give your best player the football, and the Philadelphia Eagles do.
I think the offense, is excellent for the Lions, obviously. I just like the Eagles' defense better right now. And the Lions have played better. Like they haven't played better. They played really well defensively. But given all the mounting injuries that they have, I think the Eagles are just on the upswing. I'm not going to go as far as to say the Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC, but I do think that we've got a collision course here between it's going to be Lions and Eagles in the NFC Championship game. All right, we talked about this too. Have the Ravens proven that they're not a legit Super Bowl team? I believe fully they have not. Like Lamar's sick and Derrick Henry's, when he gets rolling, all that. You cannot tell me that defense, which didn't play poorly yesterday, it just got outplayed. But that defense that we've seen struggle, and Justin Tucker, and some of the inconsistencies now that have popped up over the last month with the offense, you can't tell me that team's going to win a Super Bowl or even reach a Super Bowl.
For me, Justin Tucker, him missing field goals in the manner in which he has
it's
extra
shocking.
points, like that's probably the most shocking thing, like of great players that you've seen. Like we've talked about Kirk Cousins and his performance over the last few weeks. Like that's terrible. But Justin Tucker is automatic.
Yeah.
Like he's not a guy that misses extra points or field goals, no matter where he's kicking from. And that changes how you call offense now because it puts more pressure on you offensively. We got to score touchdowns.
Yep.
Because I can't go get down to the 30-yard line and expect us to get 3 points on this drive. I got to score.
Yep.
And offensively, as a quarterback, it changes your mentality as well. Instead of checking it down and saying, 4th down and 3, good, we'll get 3 points.
Take the profits. Yeah.
You're going, I gotta push this ball downfield to try to get a first down to keep this drive alive. So I think for me, Justin Tucker missing field goals, coupled with that defense and how they allow people to pass on them, they figured some things out the last couple of weeks. But that to me would be a concern.
There was a moment where I thought the Ravens would have gone for it last night had Lamar Jackson not taken a bad sack.
Yeah.
I don't know why they I think it was the Ravens last night. They flushed Lamar left, and then he started a backpedal. I don't know. He took a long sack, and they were forced to go with the field goal. I think in that moment they would have gone for a touchdown, or they would have gone for it on 4th down, given the issues that Justin Tucker's had.
One thing that they need to correct, and I don't even know if somebody has to have paid attention to it. Lamar's drops are too deep. When you drop, he's already in shotgun, and when you drop that deep, you're changing the angles for what the offensive line and how they're blocking.
It's a good call.
So when you drop that deep, you're basically giving the defensive end a rush upfield, and your offensive tackles have no chance in hell. Somebody needs to tell him, dude, you're dropping too deep. If you're going to take a 3-step drop in the pocket, it needs to be no deeper than 8 to 10. He's dropping back about 15 yards sometimes, which if you're watching, it just changes the angle of the defenders. And I know why he's doing it, to give himself room, but you're kind of screwing over your offensive line when you do that. You need to be more concise in your drops.
And subsequently yourself, too.
Yeah.
Any doubt that the Bills are the team to beat in the AFC? And how important is home field advantage for them?
I got doubt. I thought that was a good game they played yesterday. Great game.
Did you see the throws that Josh Allen was? It doesn't even matter. Like the weather does not matter for him.
It doesn't matter. And if you have home field advantage, it does help. But they had it last year. We're gonna say they've had it before, and
it hasn't mattered.
It didn't matter.
Yep. I think they have looked like the best and most complete team in the AFC this season, all things told. It doesn't change my perspective on the Chiefs hoisting the Lombardi Trophy yet again.
On the AFC side, I don't have a decision yet.
Yeah, you do. It's the Steelers.
I mean, of course it is, but you guys are gonna talk crazy when I say Pittsburgh.
No, we're not gonna talk crazy. It's just
they have the best defense. They have the best special teams. Offensively, they are figuring things out. I think all 3 phases matter. The Chiefs, offensively and defensively, I don't know what they're doing. Offensively, it bores me watching the Chiefs play football, and I would never have thought I'd say that about a Patrick Mahomes-led offense.
Yeah, that's tough. If Worthy becomes a more refined receiver,
not going to happen in 6 weeks.
Between now and the end of the season, they'll have that explosive ability.
That's an off-season thing.
If Worthy can make it happen, No, it's not. It's not a Rashee Rice situation. That's what we saw with Rice.
Yeah.
Or if he gets back. Which they said
Hollywood Brown is supposed to be coming back, I think, next week or the week after.
Yeah, he'll get hurt again. I've never been a Hollywood Brown fan.
Hollywood Brown
because he's never available.
Come on.
Okay.
What does that matter?
Biggest, you know it matters big time. Biggest question of the day is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues look to get back in the win column as they lost over the weekend to the Philadelphia Flyers by a final score of 3-2 in overtime. They'll take on the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow, and you can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6 o'clock. Puck drop is at 7. We talked earlier today with our Blues insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford. If you missed that or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. We also have Monday Night Football for you. That will start at 6:30. Pregame, it's the Broncos and the Browns. But once again, biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
Before the biggest question of the day, we're going to wrap up this month's Bet the Board draft. And we have Alan on the line. What's up, Alan?
How are you doing?
Doing great. Appreciate you joining us. So you're going to be with me. I don't know if that means you're stuck with me or you're glad to be here, but either way, you and I are partners for the December month of Bet the Board.
That works for me.
All right, perfect. Alan, appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. I'll try to get it done for you, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, there you go. That's the Bet the Board draft for this month here in the Fast Lane. So just to recap, Tim took Marsh with the first overall pick. Zoosh from the Snake Pit selected Jamie. Brandon, the Colts fan, took Carey Davis, and then I just got paired up with Alan. So there you go.
Have you guys heard the Colts song from one of their top fans?
Oh, no. We are the Colts, the mighty, mighty Colts.
No, that's not it.
We are the Colts, the mighty, mighty Colts. That one, right? No. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. No?
No, not that one either.
Featuring T-Pain.
That's right. No, what is it?
I'll have to show. I'm not going to sing it by any means. I'll have to show you.
It's not light.
Oh, you have heard it?
No, I haven't. But it doesn't matter. It's not light.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
It's not like that. No.
Go ahead. Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for the biggest question of the day?
Oh, yes.
All right, we've been talking.
That was the biggest question of the day.
And yes, they should bench Kirk Cousins for Michael Penix Jr.
No, that's not the biggest question of the day. We've been talking college football and NFL a lot today, so we might as well have the biggest question of the day surround the game of football. Some people might not like that. I don't really care.
Attaboy.
I don't really care.
We don't care about feelings around here.
Nah, they'll get over it.
So it's been a chaotic college football season, one that we have not seen in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL is also having their season. Which one has brought you more entertainment this year? Because there's been a lot of losses from top teams, a lot of losses in the NFL as well, and there's some teams that are at the top that refuse to lose, and the referees refuse to let them lose.
Who would that be?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows the answer.
All right.
Which, I guess it's the same sport. College football
we got
or the NFL. Which league, which whatever, are you more entertained by this calendar year?
Can I say both, but for different reasons?
What?
Yeah.
Let me hear.
All right.
I'll let you know if that's acceptable after I hear your reason.
College football has brought me more entertainment based on the upsets that have occurred.
Okay.
So every week, there are, I'll even say upsets, plural, upsets, every single week, and you don't know who's going down. You just got to tune in. Yeah. So there's a lot of drama and entertainment with that. I would not say most of the games are competitive, though. The NFL, even bad matchups, have a tendency to go down to the wire. Even bad games or a bad matchup going in such as Washington and Dallas 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
wound up being wildly entertaining.
I didn't see that.
I'm not saying good football. I'm just saying entertaining. Yesterday, one of the more entertaining finishes was Carolina and Tampa. That was way more interesting than Philly and Baltimore at the same time. So I think on a game, like a day, like a Sunday, the NFL has been more entertaining because it's like rapid fire, rapid pace. The games are close, even if you didn't intend to watch, like key in on that matchup.
Yeah.
They tend to be wilds. But college football has been parity driven from week one, and you just don't know what upsets you're going to get on a week-to-week basis. So that has been entertaining.
I think it's college football. I think
you didn't listen to a word I said.
Gave you, but you gave me two. I just gave you one, and I chose one over the other. And I think it's been more entertaining because you just hit it. Like, people are losing week in and week out, and there are only going to be 12 teams that can finish and be in this playoff. And teams have played themselves out of it. Some have played themselves back into it. You got teams. I think it's more entertaining because as much as I'll hear people complain about, Boise State or, Boise State, I want to see it. Yeah. I know or you saw it when Cincinnati made it and what happened to them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to see it again.
Well, you cared because it was just one of two matchups, though.
I care now because of how it's going to work out. Which team is going to? I think these conference championship games matter much more than they did in the past.
Yeah,
like you get to see teams, you get to see more football, and you get to see. I think it's more parity in college football than it has ever been.
I'm with you.
So I'm excited about this 12-team football playoff. I'm excited about championship weekend coming up here, and I think it's going to be fun to watch and see how teams where they all fall.
Darn right.
Yeah,
I'm with you. What about you, Marsh? You're a big foosball fan.
That's a good question, Anthony. Some would say I came up with it, but I think for me, it's college football. I think it's college football, and this kind of goes back to the conversation we had a couple weeks ago about the NFL. Sort of like week to week, you're like, what are these matchups? Like, who's like we said this earlier in the show? Who is making this Monday Night Football matchup?
Yeah,
were they drawing names out of a hat?
Had to.
All right, who's drunk?
Who is drinking the coffee?
Yeah.
I'm going with college football just because of
Carey. Carey and I had a coffee.
I did too, actually. And it didn't taste good. It didn't taste good. It's kind of too much water in there. It's a little watered down.
Hey, fellas.
Yep.
It's okay. It'll get better. Okay.
But because of all of the upsets and, people planting flags and like stuff like that, there's just so much chaos. And because of the rankings, like, we don't get the traditional, here are the standings, right? It's the rankings. Like, this is all up to a group of people deciding on who's better and who's not. Like, and it's fluctuating every single week. Like, we just don't know. So that keeps me on my toes. So I got to go with college football.
Okay. All right. It's one of those, I don't think there's a wrong answer.
No.
Oh, that wasn't mine. That wasn't my mic.
That might have been me.
Yeah, that's yours.
Trying to shock me. Trying to shock the world.
All right.
All right.
It's electric.
It's electric.
Just like Boise's trying to shock the world.
Could you imagine if Boise State loses? We'd get UNLV.
I'd be.
We're getting UNLV.
I looked at that.
Hey, UNLV.
Well, no, you wouldn't get. You might not because it's the highest.
They're ranked higher than Army.
But Army, no. It'd be the highest ranked
Group
conference champion. Yeah,
which would be UNLV.
No. It's not. It would be the ACC champ then, or ACC Big 12.
One group of 5 gets in.
Yeah.
Is it one group of 5?
Yeah.
Not in the top 4 though. What you're saying?
No, I'm not talking about the top 4. I'm talking about just the top 12.
Okay. One group of 5 gets in. Wow. And it'll probably be UNLV.
Which.
Hey, UNLV's had this is a historic season for
them. And their quarterback left them early in the year.
Yeah, but
that'd be awesome.
I want Ashton Genty
I don't think so.
to get his team into the college football playoff.
Yeah.
And I want them to beat. Well, yeah.
Got to earn it, Marsh.
And I do
Can't just give it to him.
And watch him rush for 3,000 yards on the season.
And not win the Heisman.
Oh, that's crazy.
These two teams did play earlier in the year at UNLV.
What was the score?
Your Boise State Broncos, 29. Your UNLV Rebels, 24.
Whoa!
It was a pretty close game.
Pretty close there.
Going into the fourth quarter, it was your Boise State Broncos 23 and your UNLV Rebels 24. UNLV had a lead going into the fourth quarter, and then Ashton Genty, 1 yard touchdown run early in the fourth, and that was it.
Do you think he wins the Heisman? I don't think he's the odds-on favorite to win. I think it is Travis Hunter.
Probably.
They played the championship game.
Stat padding this past week.
They played the championship game in Boise.
Yes, they do. Some games, some conferences do the separate locations.
Yeah.
Like your bigger conferences.
Gotcha. They can afford
SEC, ACC,
the MAC.
Big Ten, the MAC.
I don't think the MAC.
Oh, yeah. MAC plays at Ford
Where
Field,
they play?
Detroit.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
When is their championship game?
Probably on a Tuesday.
Saturday morning. Saturday morning. You can wake up and you can watch the MAC championship, Marsh. And I know you're going to watch it.
Saturday
It's a good
morning.
one.
Ford Field, huh?
Yeah,
you
Ford
don't say.
Field, 11 a.m. It'll be
Miami
the Ohio
versus
Bobcats versus the Miami, Ohio.
There you go. Yeah.
Go ahead. Miami, Ohio.
Saturday morning.
Redhawks.
Redhawks, that's right.
I think I might have something to do that morning.
I know my
You know
Mac
a famous
action.
You know a famous Red Hawk.
Yeah, Ryan Terry, my teammate from high school.
And Ben Roethlisberger.
Might have to fold some socks that morning.
And Big Ben. Fold some socks watching a little MAC football.
No.
All right. Iowa State and Arizona State also play that same time. Got to be a big weekend in college football, boys. Looking forward to it.
Man.
Yep. We're getting action on a Saturday. What a blessing, says Frick James. All right. So, Philip, love how they pivoted off of UNLV and BSU. It's been a good show. Appreciate you being along for the ride. All right, we're going to wrap things up. Our first Bet the Board of the month. Is Marsh going to do a 4-game parlay? 4-leg parlay like you did last month. Highly doubt it, but you never know. Marsh is a trickster. So we'll get to that. We'll wrap up the show next on 101 ESPN.
The holiday season is upon us, and this year, let's make it a magic year with something beautiful, something timeless from Diamonds Direct. They have so many gift ideas. What about a beautiful eternity band? A pair of classic diamond stud earrings. That is a winner any time of the year. Or maybe something new, something eye-catching from a world-class designer. They've got it all over at Diamonds Direct. And if you're thinking about popping the question, now would be a good time. The selection over at Diamonds Direct is like shopping 30 jewelry stores all at once, and the people that work there, I mean, these are diamond experts, and I'm telling you, you feel so good about the environment. When you walk in, it's like walking into a friend's house, and you're going to get a chance to get it right this holiday season. They got so many ideas. You can start by going online. Go to diamondsdirect.com. That way you can check out their selection, but I'm telling you, you want to get into the showroom. Go check them out. Go talk to the pros over at Diamonds Direct. At Olive and 270 at City Place, it's Diamonds Direct.
All right, if you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com and your 101 ESPN mobile app. The Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app podcast, always brought to you by Top Star Auto Centers. Time to bet the board. First time this month after Andrew Marsh
ran away with it.
Took us behind the woodshed in the month of November. Congratulations to him. And who were you partnered up with there, Marsh?
That was Skull Rick.
That's right, Skull Rick. Nice job, fellas. Marsh led the entire month after hitting that 4-leg parlay in the Miami Hurricanes game, which was a miracle. They were down by like 42, and they were a 21-point favorite, I think, and they covered. So nice job there, Marshy.
Thank you.
You have honors.
Give me Bo Nix tonight. Monday Night Football, 225 plus passing yards at -130.
You like old Bo Nix, huh? Mm-hmm. He's playing well. All right, guys. I did not like losing to Marsh last month. So I'm going to start off with a kind of a unique play, one that you may think I'm crazy. But give me the first period puck line for the Blackhawks tonight in Toronto. First period puck line. So plus 0.5 and -118.
Somebody got to score a goal.
No. Blackhawks just have to be up or tied after one.
Oh, okay.
So it could be 0-0. Could be 1-1. Hell, it could be 2-2.
See what you did there.
Where the Blackhawks take a lead. Either way.
But if they are losing after the first period.
If they're losing after the first period, I lose.
Who are they
I don't
playing?
like losing. The Toronto Maple Leafs and Craig Berube.
All right, let's go, Chief. Give me LeBron James. Sorry, I was nice.
Nah, you rooting against me. Listen, I don't blame you.
For Chief.
You're in a competition,
Give me
Carey.
LeBron James over 21.5 points scored versus the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Go T-Wolves. I like Anthony Edwards.
He's a good player. Yep.
All right.
See what you did there.
What about Jamie?
Well, it looks like Jamie is going to go with the Colorado Buffaloes over Pacific tonight. The money line. What?
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it can't be the money line.
What's the money line?
Minus
No.
1,600.
So they're minus 14.5. Yeah.
I think that's going to have to
with
be,
that.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we get a pick for
Didn't know
Zeus.
Jamie was right into basketball.
Loves
College
basketball.
Yeah.
The big hoops fan. Big hoops nerd.
It's actually minus 15.5. Just
Well, maybe that's what he meant.
yeah.
Either way, we'll figure that out.
Minus
Marsh,
108.
do you have criticisms and compliments loaded up and or ready to go?
Well, of course, Anthony. We got one from the 636. With as much time Carey is in the penalty box, it should be renamed Carey's Corner. That is from Grant's second fan.
You know what?
Wow. That
I don't know if that's
stung.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
That stung me. It wasn't even directed at me.
I am over there a lot.
Man. Sorry, Carey.
Random.
They said that about you.
From the 314, I just want Professor George Feeney from Boy Meets World to present the Heisman Trophy to Travis Hunter just to hear Mr. Hunter.
I like that. Were you a Boy Meets World fan growing up?
What's her name?
Topanga.
Topanga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Topanga.
Uh-huh.
Who doesn't? Young man. During that time.
No doubt.
I remember Topanga.
No doubt. Very
Even though
smart,
I
funny.
couldn't remember her name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Feeney was also the voice of Kit in Knight Rider.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Hello, Michael.
How about that?
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, you do.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day.
Let's do that.
Third star of the day goes out to Paper Planes.
Yeah, throwing them to cornerbacks and letting them take it to the house.
Star. I don't like that at all.
You just throw it to the corner. Just like,
That's how it looked. That's how it looked when it left Cousin's hand. Oh, look, he's open. 3, for still not there. And now it's a touchdown. Awful.
Second star of the day goes to the Great Wolf Lodge.
Yes.
Not in Missouri. It's actually in Kansas.
It's in Kansas, yeah.
I said it was in Missouri.
Same kind of structure or the same area, I should say, as the Kansas City soccer team, as well as Kansas Motor Speedway.
Didn't know that either.
Well, I'm just teaching you some stuff.
I'm learning a lot of things today.
Yeah, teaching you a lot of stuff.
Kansas,
your Kansas history lessons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. You're welcome.
First star of the day. Some people would say that Christmas is on December 25th. Some say Christmas is in July. I would argue that Christmas comes early this year on December 7th as we get Saturday Maction. The Maction Conference Championship game.
Yeah.
Early
First
morning.
star.
Yeah.
Winner into the playoffs.
No.
Yeah, if it's Ohio, they only got 3 losses, too.
I don't think they're ranked high enough.
Well, they should be. Yeah, well, they got to beat Miami of Ohio. And then Ohio gets in. 3 losses for them. We're considering 3-loss Ole Miss. Maybe even a 3-loss Georgia team. I mean, come on. Do they have 3 losses? No.
Georgia
they would.
has 2.
They have 2, but if they lose to Texas, it'd be 3.
Yeah.
And they'd still consider Georgia. So why would you consider Ohio? They got big wins this year.
I don't think they...
Including at Toledo
I don't
in
think
the Glass
they
Bowl.
play same schedule. Strength of schedule matters. That's what they tell me.
Indiana hasn't played anybody, and they're going to be
They're
in the
Big
playoffs.
Ten. It's not quite the Maction.
Exactly.
Nothing is.
Like I said before, Indiana has yet to win a Maction game. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for me, Anthony Stalter. See you.